Hey everyone, welcome back to the Keep Watching podcast, where we decide what to watch so you don't have to. I'm Sarah.
And I'm James.
And today we're going to be talking about Singles Inferno 3, episodes 6 and 7. James, we're getting really deep in this season. It feels like it's almost over. How are you enjoying it? I guess it's the midway point.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, I feel like there's a lot of the season left. Like, I was trying to think back to the pacing of the other season, but like they're going to be, on like day 6 by the end of episode 7? And then there's still 3 episodes.
Yeah, I don't remember how many days they stayed on this island last year, but it feels like we have more days this time, or
maybe
I don't know.
Maybe it is the same. Like, I think season 1 was like 9, and then maybe season 2 was 10 days. I don't know. So I guess it's the same. I guess it is like the episode pace is like on pace with the days. But yeah, so like I guess the other reason I think there's more is just like I don't remember what happens after like the women, like the guys have played a game, the women's played a game, the women have played a game, and then the guys have played another game. Like, how many more paradise trips were there at the end of these seasons? Like, I honestly don't remember.
Well, it's also weird because most of the games, I feel like there were more games last year that resulted in just a fun meal rather than like paradise time, you know?
That's true too, yeah.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah, there was at least one guy's special meal and one women's special meal in the last season.
Oh, you know what it might be? The game, we only have like one game changer coming in, whereas I think we had staggered game changers entering last time, you know?
That's true, yeah.
That makes things feel a little different.
Like, what are there going to be more like games to go to paradise in like episodes 8 and 9? I guess there have to be. I don't know. It just feels like we could be like the next episode could be the finale, but it's not. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because season 1 of this show was actually only 8 episodes, and season 2 was 10.
Okay,
I don't know. It just feels like they're. I don't know. It feels like there's like an extra round that potentially is going to be in here, or 2 rounds. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good too.
All right, awesome. I'm always looking forward to talk about Singles Inferno. I don't know what it is about the show. I don't even particularly like the people that are part of the main story, but I'm still enjoying it somehow.
Yeah, same. I was a little worried at the front that Guan Yu was going to ruin the entire show for me, but I'm still sticking through it, you know, having a good time.
Yeah, that's good. Want to do some comments from listeners before we jump in episode 6?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So Interregnum tells us that they're all in on Minji for Jinsok, and they say, Min Young, you blew it. That's what they say.
Seems like a fair assessment to me.
That's where I was at. Yeah, all these comments again are like at the end of episode 5. So
yeah,
I'm gonna have like a change of heart on this. I'll say.
Yeah. But at the time, fair assessment.
Yeah, at the time, I would say I did feel that way. I wouldn't say I was all in, but or maybe I did say that. I don't know, actually.
I think you literally did.
Did I say that? I don't know. Yeah. Well, clearly I wasn't all in enough to stick with it. And then AH says that they loved the girls talk about Guan Hee in the last episodes, whatever one it was. And Ha Jong's trash talk to his face afterwards. Which again, I was here for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But AH also thinks that Ha Jong will pick him in the end. And I think that's where we were at, but we were like really hoping it was like all ploy just to walk away from him in the end.
yeah, that's where I was with.
Yeah, after it's harder and harder to believe that theory.
Yeah, the
more episodes we watch that she's gonna watch away. But in the back of my head, it's still the dream.
Yeah,
I think we'll get into it. I think there is still like a path to that, but it depends on what happens in the last 3 episodes of the season and what happens after. Yeah, in the next episode after we don't get to see like the final selections for this guy's game.
Yeah,
and it needs to go the right way for that to be a thing. But most likely, Ha-Jun walking away. Most likely anybody walking away, right? It's very unlikely.
Yeah, seems like a distant dream that we will not get to experience.
But I have some more wild speculations as we go through these 2 episodes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be very disappointing. H agrees with you. You'll be disappointing if and when Ha-Jung picks Guan Yi in the end.
Yep,
So
yep.
at least, the people that are commenting on the podcast are mostly seeing the show the same way we are. Still not sure
Yeah.
about the masses, but all right. All right. Singles Inferno 3. Where'd we leave off in episode 5? What's about to what are we about to talk about here?
We were at the tail end of the three-way paradise date.
That's
with
right. Yeah. There's a new girl.
Minji, Minwoo, and Jinsuk.
Minji's the new girl. She got to go with 2 guys. She dated them separately, but then
we didn't know
about them. Yeah, what's
the room situation,
hotel situation? We'll get into that, but don't have very many answers on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jinsuk might be into the new girl instead of Min Young now. Oh.
Yep.
And then Seon is waiting for Minwoo to get back from paradise because Seon is
she was very
vibing
sad.
with Minwoo, and then Min Young is missing Jinsuk now that he's at paradise without her.
Yes, she always seems to like him when he's furthest away.
There we go. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
No updates on the Guan Yi thing in our. Yeah, we're good, right?
Yeah. He continued to exist, much to our disappointment.
Yeah, but all right. We'll talk about Guan Yi plenty enough.
Yeah.
Even in segments that there is no Guan Yi gets talked about on the show. So.
Yeah, he does.
He's truly unavoidable.
Yep.
All right. Guess what? We're going to start out in Inferno in episode 6. And
hey, guess what? It's Guan Yi.
It's Guan Yi, and he's talking to Hye-sung. Yeah. All right, let's get started. They want to both be honest with each other about
this is
where
like
they are. Yeah.
Fairly straightforward. I mean, presuming that you believe words coming out of Guan Yi's mouth, it's a fairly straightforward conversation, and I'm almost impressed with it.
They've both talked to everyone except Minji. They haven't met Minji yet, so that's Guan Yi's only real. He's kind of throughout this episode, you're gonna find out he basically isn't even trying with Gyuri.
Yeah.
I think that's because Gyuri is not interested in him.
Yeah. He's not gonna necessarily say that, but I feel like he figured out pretty quickly she was not having any of his nonsense and has retreated. Yeah.
But he isn't saying to Hye-sung he's down to 2 women or anything like that, because he's still I'm gonna talk to Minji a little bit and then I'll be able to finally make my decisions, basically, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, maybe you have some spots where you can point out maybe some things that Guan Yi said, but I feel like he's gonna be very toned down a bit in these episodes in a way that's shifting gears to making him less of a bad guy. And that's also the other that's a direction they could have gone with this storyline that I was not hoping for. So
yeah, he's downright tolerable in these episodes, I'd even say.
Yeah. There's minor negging, but it's mostly playful, and then it's a lot of him putting forth no effort at all, and somehow these girls are still interested in him. I actually have no idea what's going on.
Still do not get it. Even in this conversation, Hasten's just I'm still the most attracted to you, and I'm gonna check out what these other guys have to offer, but hey, right now I'm all about you. And I'm like, but why? I don't get it.
Yeah. But she said she still wants to go to paradise with other people, though. But she's hasn't been impressed by anybody yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is this just the move? The less you try, the more, at least more girls will be interested in you. I don't know what's going on.
I think the move is just be tall. I think that's all.
Is that it? Okay.
This show takes place over a short enough time span where it's just be tall. And step 2 is don't not be tall.
Yeah, if we go back in the history of Singles Inferno, is that the case? I would say shorter guys tend not to do very well on the show. That's
I think it is just be tall.
Yeah, that's actually kind of nuts. Yeah, is there any is it because the shorter guys are next to the tall guys that they're, but I guess either way it's just be tall is the answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you are limited to a shorter height class or whatever, just still be tall in that height class.
Yeah.
I think get you there.
Guan Yi seems like he's fine, but he's not part of like the main story of the show. Whereas Haben
Yeah.
actually seems like he might suck, and that's why he's not having
We're just
success.
not seeing it. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but like Guadi also sucks, but I get like there's something to be said that I mean,
He's
maybe
tall enough to make up for it,
yeah,
I
like
guess.
yeah, maybe that's what it is. He's tall enough to make up for it. Like if Haben was just taller, girls would give him a chance. But you can't suck and be short.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta
Or
just pick one.
you might get pity candies, but that's about it. Yeah. All right. Well, what else happens in this conversation?
Yeah, it's a lot of like stuff they kind of talked about on their first paradise date, which is like, hey, let's check out what there is to offer, but then we'll come back together at the end. But he does say one thing that I do kind of hate, where he's just like, yeah, go choose somebody else to go to paradise with, but who knows, if you end up going to paradise with somebody else, it might change how I feel. And I'm like, okay, you had to sneak in that little manipulative bullshit.
Did he actually say that?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yes,
Okay.
he did.
Oh wow.
He's like, I wonder how I'll feel seeing you go off with somebody else. It might just change everything.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Don't like you.
But it wasn't it also like the sentiment that also gets brought up in the show is like, oh, you want to see somebody go with somebody else so that you can like see if like you're jealous or not, and then if you're jealous, that's like a good thing in terms of liking them. Like that's
well,
like,
just because prior to saying this, he was basically saying like, yeah, you're my number one right now. So like changing that sounds to me like it's not getting better for her, like
okay.
him figuring out that he's jealous is gonna like tick her up a couple points or whatever.
Yeah. But he also was like encouraging her to go with somebody else, right?
Well, yeah, he's got to say,
Okay.
both things.
Saying all the things. Okay.
Just to,
Cover all your
manipulate her
bases.
appropriately. Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah. I'll say the right thing. You should go choose somebody else, but there might be consequences. I can't help it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't like him.
Yeah, he explains like how he thought she was like too high energy, but then he liked her more on Inferno than on the Paradise date, right? And then he actually says he likes her the most out of everybody, right? Like, does he actually say that?
Yes.
Like, those words? Okay. But oh yeah, especially the thing with the like that small little scene with like her getting like a food wrap for him while he was like at the grill, like that apparently was like important to him, or at least it was something he noted to say in this conversation.
Yeah.
I was surprised that even mattered. So what happened to the 33, 33, 33? What's the percentage of that right now?
Well, now it's 33 Haesun, 33 Hajong, and 33% Minji, right? Like
you think
he's still got a third lady he's got to
out?
figure out about. Yeah.
He just swapped 100%. Out 33. Okay. But he's saying that she's the most, but he's
okay, maybe like she gets 34%.
She gets that. Yeah. She gets the 1%.
She gets the 1%.
Okay. At one point he says like he's still interested in the same three women, but is playing at least at this point. Maybe later in the episode he admits that he's given up on Guri. He's interested in the same three women, and he's planning on chatting to Minji. I don't know. They're pretty honest with each other here.
Yeah.
Like he could be lying about
anything.
He's making her feel like she's number one, but at the same time he's not being like you're the only one. So
yeah,
it's kind of like maybe what you should be doing. Honestly, like it's not that like it's like if this was the only thing he did the whole show, like this would be nothing to me. Yeah.
Okay.
And he does say he would pick her for Paradise, right? So that's getting pretty committal in terms of like, well, he's gonna get a pick at the end of the episode. We're not gonna see the result of that pick.
We'll
I mean,
we'll see if this was bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like it could have not. Even if he doesn't pick her, like it could have not been bullshit at the time because I mean, like another day is gonna go past.
Yeah.
But that you're kind of putting your cards down when you say that. Where like, because now if you say you're gonna pick somebody and then you don't pick them, now I feel like your chances
you've sent a message of like things are changed. No, I'm not about you anymore. Yeah.
So he didn't have to say that. So I don't know if that means anything or if it was a miscalculation. I don't know. Like I feel like he kind of actually commits to picking her for Paradise, but she doesn't commit to picking him, even because he also encourages her to not pick him. But yeah, okay.
I think he like even specifically picks out Haben and Wanuk as like people for her to pick, and I cannot remember if he knew that she specifically had interest in either of those, or if he's decided that they are like non-threatening people he could push her towards picking or something. Or I don't know. I was trying to figure that bit out, but I didn't get anywhere with it.
Well, I think like Jinsuk's not available, right?
Yeah.
Mingyu, I think, is not available.
That's fair.
Who are we forgetting?
Minwoo is
Minwoo.
a baby, so
Maybe he.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's actually worried if she takes Minwoo, then he'll be in trouble. So he didn't suggest Minwoo.
Yeah.
Because we're randomly
He's
going to find
another
out
tall
later.
one, yeah.
I get absolutely blindsided by the selections after the women's game, by the way. Like, I have this whole narrative that I was writing down in my notes, and then it did not go the way I was expecting. like Haesung is actually going to bring up Minwoo for who she might take to paradise later. But it like, she gave Minwoo a candy, right?
We don't actually know, I think.
Oh, no, she gave it to Haben, Wanik, and Guanhee. So she didn't even give Minwoo a candy, but then Minwoo's coming. I don't know. Maybe her confessional about Minwoo maybe was BS, but I thought they were all BS, and then it turned out they weren't. But she is going to express some interest in Minwoo. Okay. All right. That's the update on those two. Okay. Then the younger woman host actually admits, and it makes the end of the show, that she hates Guanhee. I thought that was awesome.
It was so good.
The contrast between what the hosts are like, what's making the edit for the host this year versus last year is so good. Like,
it's so good, yeah.
They're just letting them say it, which that's a good sign for us. I think it's a good sign for the narrative that we want, or a narrative that we might want, that the hosts are still talking about how they don't like Guanhee. Like, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Even though Guanxi is definitely dialed down in these 2 episodes, at least the hosts are still kind of referring to him as like a villain in a way. So that's good. That's absolutely good. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go to Paradise. We thought to clean up that triple threat date.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We've got Minwoo alone in the hotel room, just waiting for the other two to come back.
But I was like, oh, is this just him by himself? Like, what's going on? And then the doorbell rings. I don't know if we've ever seen the doorbell ring at Paradise before.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And it's like Minji and Jinsuk, so they are going to be all in the same room. So it's weird about, I don't know what happened here, because we never get to see the sleeping
arrangements.
Yeah. So I don't know. It
could have been they were just hanging out in this room together for a while, and then, like, the guys went off to sleep somewhere else, or they could have brought in extra pull-out beds, or who knows.
It seems kind of crazy to me that they didn't at least show us what that was, like, if they all ended up sleeping in the same thing, or maybe it's somehow,
I don't know, if we even saw,
I don't know,
we didn't see the bed configuration. I'm gonna guess that this was like the room with one big bed, and they obviously gave her the big bed and then, like, slept out on the couch, or pull out like roll away beds or something.
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna assume has happened.
Yeah, it's probably like spicier to speculate on what might have happened versus what actually happened. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I'm so glad they let them all kind of come together. It was, and then basically Minwoo is like a non-factor in their conversation, right? Like he must have said something, but like nothing he said made the edit of the conversation. Yeah. Is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also, Jinsuk is definitely intentionally feeding her food in this scene, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. When last we thought you were saying you thought it was like it was more her initiating it.
Yeah,
last time, but he's definitely doing it here.
Pre-swimming eating. Yeah. This time it's his turn.
Yeah. So Min was just like the third wheel here.
Minji is asking a lot about, Jinsuk's last time in paradise, and if the person he came with is like ideal type, and he's just kind of blowing it off like, oh yeah, she's all right, and it was the first day, whatever, we didn't know each other real well before we picked, like he's minimizing that entire situation.
Yeah, so where we left off was like Minji was like a little on edge because like she set Jinsuk up to just like basically say like, oh, this time in the swimming pool is way better than last time in the swimming pool. But then Jinsuk didn't
say the easy cute line.
Yeah, he didn't take the layup basically. Which I also feel like is meaningful. Like I don't think like I'd be that annoyed by it like Minji is, but I think it is noteworthy. And then I have that like Jinsuk is like trying to downplay how into Minyoung he was, but at the same time he's like also talking about how great she was in this conversation. So again, he's not, I guess you could like commend him for like not lying, but also I don't know. The whole Jinsuk story is like which girl is he actually into.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, would he be talking about Min Young like this if he was like really into Minji? I don't know. The
Yeah.
show is really hard selling Minji throughout these episodes.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So
definitely.
I think in terms of predicting, I think it's going to be Min Young.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
think
That's how you feel
that's
too?
how
Okay.
it's yeah, that's how I'm reading this.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it seems like Minji doesn't like what he's saying about Min Young in this conversation, right?
Mm. Um, yeah, but I think it gets worse for her the next day.
When she
Like
actually
when she
meets
actually
Min Young,
sees
yeah.
them, when she sees them together, she's like, "Oh, I wasn't prepared for this." And
Yeah.
especially the way everyone treats Jinsuk and Minyoung like a couple already. So I don't know that what he says in this particular instance really makes her feel like
Not
Minyoung
as
is the big
bad.
threat or something. Yeah, exactly.
That's not as bad, but yeah, even in this conversation, my vibe was that Minji was only getting more annoyed with what
Okay.
the situation might be based on what Jinsuk was saying. But okay, let's go to day 5. We're back on Inferno.
Yes.
And they're arriving back from Paradise. We skip right over the rest of the night. Yeah, Minji is meeting everybody for his first time. Min Young is reacting to Jinsuk's return.
Yeah, we get a confessional from her where she like calls the new girl cute, and it's like the first time we get one of these this season that isn't like I'm so much better than her, you know? Like she's just like, oh yeah, she's cute and she laughs a lot or whatever, but she still seems fairly sure that Jinsuk's gonna stick with her rather than going with the new girl.
Yeah. Well, her assessment is that Minji will be a game changer for Guanhee and Habin. Like that's who she predicts will be involved in Minji on the island, I guess.
Well, Guan, he's an easy pick. He will go towards anything shiny, and Habin doesn't have anything going on, so yeah, he might as well.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, she thinks Jinsuk will still pick him as long as she doesn't muck it up. Was in my translation.
Which she did some fair mucking up so far. I'd say so.
Yeah, she already did, but even like if this confessional is actually like after this moment, she doesn't think she
doesn't
has
think she
already mucked it up. Yeah. I guess Minji's gonna be roommates in a shipping container with Seon and Minyoung. I don't know. The girls are
sure.
In a lot of the girls' conversations, like there might be 3 of them in a container, but it's like
I don't know if it's their room or not. Yeah.
Jinsuk tells the guys that he's still interested in Minyoung in the guys' conversation.
He does bring up the but she gave out 4 candies thing, so like he's still a little sore about that at the very least.
Yeah. It does seem to have affected him. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of silly to me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not surprised. I feel like he took it better on the day of it happening, and then it's like started to bother him more. Or is it only bothering? Or is he only saying it's bothering him more now that there's like the second option for him?
Or has it bothered him more because people keep like talking about it? Like I feel like there might be that. Like if he had found out privately from her that she gave out 4 candies, it might not have affected him as much as her announcing it in front of everybody and everybody having a big reaction that like kind of puts him on the spot. I feel like that might be at play a little bit too.
Yeah, I guess that's possible. I don't know. It does seem like he's been more bothered by it now than he was before. I do feel like when he's talking to the guys though, like he says he's interested in Minyoung, and then he's like kind of hyping up Minji to the other guys. I mean, like they haven't met her, so it's like maybe this is just the thing you do. But I feel like he's doing it in a way that's like
they all sat down with her for like 10 minutes, so
yeah,
like, they've at least met her that much.
Yeah, but I feel like he's doing it in a way where it's like this girl's so great, you should totally talk to her, and I'm not that worried about it. Like I don't know. That's at least how I interpreted it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then, the guys do let Jinsuk know that Minyoung was saying she was missing him while he was gone. So he's caught up. He's caught up. All right, here's the announcement. What's going on?
Today, the women will play a game to win a date in paradise.
All right, and the women are doing the fight pit.
I mean, that's what I thought at first.
But not really, as usual, not really.
Yeah. There's this like circle of sandbags in the woods, and I was like, I guess that's a fight pit, sure.
It's not a pit.
Fight pit.
And it's not really a fight, but
yeah.
It's like kind of a fight. I don't know. I was thinking about like what's the strategy in this. So it's basically just they wear a hat and then they wear like a tail that's attached to their back, and then you have to pull the hat
Mm-hmm.
off. You have to get the hat off the head of your opponent and the tail off the back of your opponent.
Yes.
But like the way, like I feel like the strategy of this is probably to like do like a fighting stance, you know?
Mm.
Except instead of trying to like punch him in the face, like you're just trying to like jab and grab the hat. You know what I mean?
Or you don't even have to like grab the hat. You could just flick it off
Well, that's true. Yeah, just
and that
knock
would
it
be
off or
effective.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That feels like that would be easier than what some of them try to do.
So it could have been kind of like a fight, but they don't really take that
Yeah.
approach.
And it is 1-on-1 each time until the finale instead of just everybody going after each other
Yeah.
like in the guys fight pit.
Yeah, it's mostly like hand wrestling. That's what I'll say. It is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do get the sexy slow mo walk in from the girls when
Yes.
yeah, in their like gym
Their
clothes.
workout clothes
Yeah,
or
workout
whatever,
clothes.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they did get them back for missing. I guess that like the participants for the game, I guess who gets
is
it.
who gets
that makes
highlighted.
Sense. That makes sense. All right, top three finishers. We'll get to choose in order of placement. This is what we're used to.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the past, this has been like one-on-one tournaments and then like a triple threat for the finals, right?
Yeah, which is exactly what happens here. Yep.
So like that's what the guys did when Jin Young showed up last time when they did like tug of war, right?
Yeah.
I like the one-on-ones. I don't
Yeah.
like the triple threat as much in these, especially in like with the tug of war. There was like
there's no teaming up.
There's no
really.
teaming up. I mean, you like unless you like blatantly just like ran over to a guy's thing and helped them because there was no
yeah.
I think the way that because that worked, the triple threat worked for the tug of war last season because there was only
one winner.
Yeah, but this is top three, so like they're gonna do 3 1-on-1s. The losers aren't going to paradise, and then the top three are going to paradise, but you have to decide the order that they pick.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really know a better way to do this. It's like because they don't want these competitions lasting all day, so it's like
yeah.
it's fine. It still has that dilemma of potential teaming up in a way that I don't like, but I don't think there was any
there wasn't any like interpersonal shit behind it this time. Like there wasn't the fight pit last.
At least not in a way the show highlighted it, but
yeah,
it was probably fine. We get this confessional from Min Young where she's talking about how the other girls are frail and a slight breeze would blow them off their feet. So she's feeling good about her chances. But like this isn't the fight pit. Like it's like 100% the number one trait for this game is arm length. Right? So
yes.
So like I was looking, we got like a kind of a lineup of the girls. I don't think there's like a huge significant difference in all their heights, but I picked out who I thought the tallest three girls were from the lineup. And I picked Hye-sung, Siyeon, and Giri.
Oh well, hey, that lines up
what do
pretty
you know?
well.
Now I got lucky that they didn't have to go each other against in the
yeah, that's true.
But they all end up winning their match and going to the finals. Yeah, 100%. I mean, especially since these girls aren't gonna like be trying to really knock each other over, with maybe some exception. But
yeah, some exception.
They're not like Min Young's not gonna really get a chance to like toss her weight around in these fights.
Yeah.
It's just kind of hand fighting, and then you reach for the tail or the hat. So yeah. I think Min Young might be the shortest. So after she said that, I went back, I looked at the heights, and I was like, Min Young, you're not winning this. What are you talking about? All right. Yeah, let's just get through the first rounds pretty fast. So we get Min Young versus Siyeon. Siyeon wins that pretty.
It's a little close. But
this one was actually close. They both their hats fell off, or they got one of them off, but then they basically grab each other's tail.
Kind of almost simultaneously grab tails.
Yeah. They grab tails at the same time, but Siyeon does it faster. Gyuri versus Minji.
Gyuri just dominates and gets all of Minji's shit before she can get anything else.
She just steamrolls Minji pretty much. And then Hajong and Hye-sung. This one was actually pretty good, I thought, because Hajong loses her
tail.
Her tail or her hat? Oh yeah. Hye-sung
tail.
Hye-sung
and
takes
then she
her
goes
tail.
berserker mode.
Yeah, Hye-sun takes her tail in like 1 second. And then she takes the hat too. She would have taken the hat too, but like Ha-jung, I think, cheats, in my opinion, and just like holds
Oh
the hat
yeah,
on
she
her
starts
head.
kick. Oh, I didn't notice that, but I did notice she started just like kicking
that's
Haesung.
I don't think that's cheating. I don't think like
I couldn't figure out if she was kicking or like trying to go for a leg sweep or
oh
something.
yeah, no,
but
she was leg sweeping for sure. So yeah,
just not successfully.
Ha-jung almost loses in 1 second, literally, and then somehow like she gets inspired to like go all out, and then she starts like actually trying. She probably tried harder than any of the girls tried after almost losing in 1 second. And then Hye-sung like can't stop laughing, like
the entire time.
This is gonna happen in the finals too, but Hye-sung wins this matchup against Ha-jung.
Yeah,
but I again, I go back and forth between like liking Ha-jung in some moments and then really not liking her in other moments, and that continued throughout this.
Yeah. What I didn't like is when they kept cutting to Guan-hee, who was clearly enjoying these two women theoretically in his brain fighting over him. And I was just like, I don't need to see him during this.
I'm sure all the guys were reacting in similar way.
Yeah, but they kept showing him, and I did not.
They have
to.
It's what the story is.
Yeah, but like truthfully, like they're not fighting over him because he was not who Hae-sun was gonna pick. But anyway,
he's not who Hae-sung was gonna pick. Oh yeah, he doesn't. Yeah. And then this is where we get these confessionals.
Back-to-back confessionals of everybody being like, Minwoo's the person I'm picking.
Yeah, so I was feeling good about myself. I correctly picked the final three girls, right? And then and then they give me this narrative, and I'm just like, this narrative is 100% BS. They tell us, she says to us, Hae-sung says to us that she's planning on picking Minwoo. That's what she said before the final matchup.
Yes.
And then I was like, that's out of nowhere. Like, what is that about? I guess.
I mean, she had some decent logic behind it of like she should pick somebody who she's interested in but is least likely to match with her, because she gets to pick whoever and they don't have to agree to it. They just have to go.
Yeah. I mean, did you think they actually did the first round of things, paused, went to have confessionals, and then came back into the finals? Like, I was thinking this was like a post-event confessional where they were just like, say that you were going to pick Minwoo in this confessional, even though you weren't. Like, that's honestly what I thought was going on.
Oh, well, I just figured it was a post-event confessional where they all just said Minwoo because that's what they were feeling. But
you actually think
might
they
have
were
also,
that? This
but
is
they
just
might
so
have
out of
also
nowhere.
said other people too, and then they just showed the Minwoo part,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, so then in my head I was like, okay, so Hye-sung's not winning because Minwoo is going to be taken. So I was like, so Seon is going to beat Hye-sung at least. That's what I thought. And then,
okay.
And then Seon tells us that she would pick Minwoo. That's what we expected.
Yeah, makes sense.
But then she thinks that Yuri would also pick Minwoo, and I was like, what?
Well, that's a weird not happening.
Yeah. So then I was like, oh, okay, this whole Minwoo thing is fake. So I guess like Seon must get first place in order for that narrative to be like dramatic. In order to like this, them all talking about Minwoo is supposed to be like adding drama to the situation.
Yeah.
And then Yuri has a confessional where she said she would either pick Minwoo or Mingyu. And I was like, oh, they're really committed to this Minwoo. Like, this isn't real at all.
Well, that's how I felt at first. But then I remembered that, like, early season, she had been picking Minwoo consistently.
Yeah, I guess.
They never matched up.
I guess I was just committed to the, like, Yuri and Mingyu are together and they're not part of the storyline of the show anymore. Because both of them were kind of, I mean, Yuri was involved because of Guan-hee, but Mingyu has been like almost non-existent on the show since
that's
the early days. So yeah, I 100% just thought like Seon was winning this, and then I didn't know who's gonna win between Hye-sun and Yuri, but I thought it was gonna be Seon, then Hye-sun, then Yuri, and I was like, I almost just like started writing in my notes. I was like 100% sure that's what was gonna happen. Yeah, I thought this was like so fake. So this totally blindsided me that this what happens is right, Seon actually loses, right? They kind of team up on her. So that, again, like I don't know if there was any,
I don't know how much of a team up it was. Some like, well, not a conscious team up. Like it's Yuri went for Seon and then Hasten took advantage of the situation.
Yeah, it could have just been that. It could have just been a strategical team up by Hye-sung, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, was it just unlucky? Like Sung happened to be standing closer to Gyuri. Like she could have like at the same time when they attacked, she could have also gone for. Or no, Sung was like just standing closer to Sion, so like she
Yeah.
could have been standing closer to Gyuri. I don't know. I just feel like even if it's not, even if there is no like confessional that explains their behavior, there's like some subconscious like favoritism going on in these
Mm.
situations. And I don't like maybe like Sung and Gyuri might just be better friends with each other than they are with Sion, and that's all this.
Or
Like that's
Cian looked like an easier target in the moment, and that's how it played out. I think there's a couple ways this
like
could
to
have
me
happened.
strategically. Like if you just like if their lives were on the line, like
Uh huh.
this was just like, this wasn't about like say there's no factor of like this woman's choosing the same guy I am. Like if you take that out of it,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
just trying to win, like get first place,
Mm-hmm.
like you'd think
Yeah.
teaming up against Hye-sung is the strategic move, or even Gyuri because Gyuri steamrolled Minji. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
like Sion seemed like the last person that should be teamed up on, and then she gets teamed up on. You know what I mean? That's how
Yeah.
I that's why, yeah, these multiple people battle royale things are always questionable to me. But yeah, Sion's going to lose first, but I think she gets Sion gets Gyuri's hat at least before she's eliminated. So Hye-sun has
Yes.
like a 2-1 advantage. But
Till she
then,
falls over.
yeah, but then Gyuri lays the smackdown on Heian's ass, and it was actually kind of impressive. I was impressed by Gyuri in this too. I was actually
Mm-hmm.
very impressed by Gyuri throughout this entire 2 episodes.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah.
Maybe they kind of just locked hands and spun around, and then Taesung kind of just tripped at one point. But then she was
Mm-hmm.
see it, but Gyuri was very quick to like bend over and quickly like grab the tail and knock the head off in a very like quick
Yeah.
way. So
Absolutely.
Gyuri's sneaky competitive. Gotta like it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
All right, so we got our order. Gyuri will pick first. Hye-sung will pick second, and
And then Cian.
Xian. And I was still like, oh well, Gyuri's not picking Minwoo, so it doesn't matter.
Of
It's just
course
like it's
not.
just
Yeah,
fake
everything's
drama.
fine.
Like
Mm-hmm.
like we know who Gyuri's picking, so they needed some fake drama with Minwoo. And then Hye-sung will like definitely pick Won-hee. She's not picking Minwoo. Um
mm.
so yeah, this was very blindsiding.
You had it all wrong.
Yeah. All right, what conversations we get before the selection process? We get Jinsok
Um,
and Minyoung.
Min.
Minyoung, they're gonna talk.
Yeah.
Um, Minyoung is like all in on Jinsok now. Like I think she
Oh
was
yeah.
honestly by the end of the night after she gave out the 4 candies, I feel like she was all in on Jinsok. like
Yeah.
like she talked to the girls and like heard about some of the guys that she gave candies to and was like,
Oh
never
no, I've
never
made a
mind,
mistake.
never mind, I'm good. And then basically Jinsok was like the only option left at that point. Minyoung says to Jinsok like, I only have fun with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like the act of like a Jinsuk saying, "Oh yeah, I'll take a step back so you can go meet some other guys." Like just like flip the switch where she's like, "Wait, you're really cool. Let me just forget about that."
Oh,
And
you think that's what it was? Oh, okay.
I don't know. It might have been a contributing factor, but yeah, I don't know. Just the switch was so quick, and I mean, I don't blame her at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know if the conversation with Jinsok is what did it, because I remember wasn't she a little like Jinsok took it really well, and then somehow she was like still annoyed with him in a way that she
I don't
couldn't
know if she was
explain.
still annoyed or if she was explaining how she had been annoyed.
She did both, I think. At least that's
Mm.
what my subtitles seem to indicate.
But by the end of it, like she was crying and kind of felt guilty and weird about the whole thing, I think.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. I actually think Minyoung is pretty good in this conversation with Jinsok. Like, it's kind of like a cute, jealous charm that she kind of turns on here.
Yeah.
But like
Absolutely.
I think it works. I don't know. She like really wants it to be like it was before when Jinsok
Mm.
only liked her. But Jinsok isn't like telling her how much he likes Minji. Because
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
like I feel like she had her like one day of like doubts,
Mm-hmm.
and then Jinsok, and then the game changer showed up, And now Jinsok is like in that period of time where he's having like his one day of doubts, and so they're just like
Yeah,
not
yeah.
syncing up. But I think Jinsok's gonna come back around on this, or at
Yeah.
least I really hope
Yeah,
so.
I agree.
So, like, do you think he's like actively just getting her back for the Four Candies thing, or it's more of like he's actually feeling something from the court Four Candies thing, and it's not
I
just
think
Minji? Or do you think
oh.
Minji is
Hmm.
like is Minji like he was so in on Minyoung so quickly that it's hard for me to believe that Minji is like taking over for that.
But he was so in on Minyoung in the context of not being interested at all in any of the other women, though.
You think that's what it was?
I think that's a contributing factor. Like, he liked her well enough and was like, well, none of the others do it for me, so might as well all in on this.
Yeah. I guess my thing is like say Minyoung only gives one candy to Jinsok, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How much
Where are
does
we now?
how much does Jinsok like Minji if we're in that situation?
Mm, probably a little less.
Yeah.
Because I do think it's a combination of feeling weird about her giving out 4 candy and also Minji's fun to hang out with.
Hmm. Okay.
But I don't think it's entirely that Minyoung gave out all this candy. I think there is some substance behind it.
You think Minji is having an effect on him? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Minyoung says she wants to go swimming with him again. So yeah, I don't know. I think Minyoung is fine. I was like annoyed with her because I was such a big Jinsuk fan in the last couple episodes, but
Yeah.
now that I think about it more, it's like she didn't do anything that she.
Yeah.
It was. I think so,
They've
that
known each
one,
other for 4 days.
yeah, like that one conversation where like he took the apology approach and then like she was still the one being annoyed. Like that felt wrong, and
Yeah.
I think soured us and a lot of people on Minyoung. But I don't know. A day later, if the timing window can't be just one day, right? Like it's like it can't be that small of a window. Like if the girl comes back to you after you're like I'm 100, like I'm committed to you 100%, and then they don't return it, but then they come back a day later and they're like, okay, I'm committed to you 100% now. Like I don't think you're.
I don't know. Singles Inferno moves pretty fast.
I guess so, but it's just like I don't know. Unless there was something like there was very specific red flag that is like especially triggering to you about something that Minyoung did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just think she's so committed to him, and she's doing it throughout these 2 episodes. She's going to do it in like such an obvious, like public and obvious way.
Yeah.
She basically is doing to Jinsok
What
what
she was
Jinsok was doing to
annoyed.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
Jinsok like wanted her to be doing that before, and now I
Mm.
think, and now she is doing it. I don't know. It's hard to believe. I will be shocked if Minji wins over Jinsok by the end of this. I truly
I
will
mean,
be.
they do have another talk later where he does kind of talk through how he's feeling about the timing of things and how it is a little convenient that she turns around on her opinion the moment somebody else shows up and shows interest in him. Like, I get how that would not feel good.
I get it. Like I get having that like one day or whatever the time period is, he needs to at least like digest it and think about it. Like I'm fine with that. But it's not like Minji is giving him like a better offer, you know? It's like I don't know. Like Minji's got multiple things going on also just because it took
Oh,
Minyoung
yeah.
if it just because it took Minyoung one extra day to commit to you, like is that really the difference that we're talking about here? Like
Yeah, yeah. I think that's
that
that's
can't
fair
be.
to
Yeah.
say
Okay.
that that's negligible.
It also helps that I feel like the show is very hard selling the Minji stuff in a way that I'm not buying it.
Yes.
But who knows? I was dead wrong about the women's
That's
wrestling
true.
game, so what do I know? When they're sitting down at the table at Inferno,
Mhm.
Sia, I wrote down Sia exposes her carotid artery to Minwoo.
For me, I was just like, she and Minwoo are making eyes at each other again. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like they don't talk as much as they just like stare at each other.
In a group of people, especially, I think, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They like never directly talk to each other when other people are around, but they are always staring at each other.
Because they're both when they do talk to each other, they talk about how they're both like shy, and that does seem to
Mhm.
be right, at least compared to these
Yeah.
other popular kids. Yeah, the carotid artery thing is such a classic. If this was Heart Signal, they would have been all over that
Yeah.
in Heart Signal that moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so they go to talk privately, and he's really poking her in the cheek, if you know what I'm saying.
He spends a lot of time removing what may or may not actually be a stray bit of lipstick from her face.
Yeah,
And
may
yeah,
or may
it
not have
takes a long,
existed.
long time.
Yeah, these two are vibing. Like I'm
Yeah,
here
it's
for
really
this.
cute. She completely loses track of what she's saying while he's just like
Okay.
staring at her and rubbing this mark off her face.
Yeah, she says how like they're both shy and she thinks that's good. Like she's glad to have him here as somebody to
Mm-hmm.
talk to and stuff.
She was really bored without him when he was away at Paradise.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Wan Eek is awkward and shy, but Minwoo isn't. Like I I don't know what the difference is because
Minwoo is tall and
oh, that's
shy.
true. He's tall and
Wanik
shy.
is less tall
Yeah,
and
we've
shy.
really cracked the code here with this. This whole
Yeah,
season is
everything
exposed the
comes back
formula.
to height.
Haesung's all over this. Haesung is like, yeah, height is the most important thing, and she's the only one willing to say it. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, she even says here, like, she's like, I can't say it's you, but it's you. Like, if she could
Oh
actually
yeah.
like pick somebody. So
Yeah.
like the most straightforward.
Well, she says I'll pick you as basically I'll pick you as long as you're available. Since she
Yeah.
knows. I don't know. I don't know what. See, I don't know how much communication there were between the women. We're gonna get a Sion Hyesun conversation, but we're never gonna see Yuri talk
Yeah.
before the selection process, which is weird. What do you think Minwoo wants to happen here?
I think at this point he wants Shion to pick him.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Because I think at this point he's given up on Yuri and isn't thinking about her anymore.
You see, I don't think he's not thinking about her, but I don't think he's expecting anything from her. But like I wrote in my notes, like he probably wants to go with Sion, but like I don't think this man's gonna be upset if Yuri picks him. So like
Yeah.
the like Sion seems more all in on Minwoo than Minwoo is on her. But in this moment, Minwoo probably feels like she's the only option anyway, you know? So it's not as
okay. I don't know. I'm like I feel it feels genuine. Like I wouldn't say
oh yeah,
that
yeah.
it's entirely just because she's the only thing available.
Yeah, yeah. There does I think they're vibing. Like this is honestly what I'm rooting for these two. But yeah, I even before what's about to happen, even though I didn't think it was going to happen, I wrote down this man's not going to be upset if Gary picks him. Like
Yeah,
he was
fair.
definitely into her earlier on. So then we get the Sion and Hyesun conversation. I was really impressed by this from Sion's perspective.
Okay.
Because Hyesun, she knows Hyesun's like picking before her.
Mm.
And I don't know why out of the two girls, like we get to see her talking to Hyesun.
And not Gyuri.
Yeah, like Hyesun's gonna tell her that she's gonna like Hyesun's keeping her pick a secret, like she doesn't want to say.
Right.
And I don't know if that's an indication because she is gonna pick Minwoo and she doesn't want to say it. But then I feel like Sion does like a really good job of letting Hyesun know that her and Minwoo
Or a thing.
like seem to have a really good connection, and that Hyesun like might be getting in the way of that if she chooses
she
him.
talks about how like her heart's fluttering and she like he seems to feel the same. Like she like really goes into all the cute stuff like you would if you were like going to your friend to be like, oh, I met this guy, I like him so much, you know.
Yeah. But I was like really impressed with it because I feel like most people like what you would do is you would just like basically beg the person not to pick them, right?
Yeah, she's just like, I'll pretend to be oblivious to the fact that you might pick him and just emphasize how much I like him so you feel that and leave him for me.
Yeah, I was really impressed by it. Like I don't know if there was any like actual strategy going on from Sion here, but like she basically said exactly what she should be saying to Haesung to try to get her to not.
Now we never get to see if it was effective or not, or if that was what was at play.
Yeah, that was disappointing. Based on my read of Haesung in this conversation, like I don't see how Haesung could pick Minwoo after this, because like Haesung would only be picking Minwoo because like she wants to pick someone else, and Minwoo's the tallest, or like something like that is like what's going on.
Yep.
And it's like if this girl comes to you and is like, we're having a serious connection, and it's like two ways. It's not just me liking him for stereotypical reasons or whatever. It's like
it's not just because he's tall.
Yeah, like I like him more than just because he's tall. Like I don't see how you would get in the way of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, why don't we see Gyuri before all this?
Probably because she was just like, yeah, I'm gonna pick Minwoo, and then that would ruin the suspense.
Yeah, is that what it is? Like
probably.
Like because there's so much missing from the Gyuri storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, so Gyuri's gonna pick Minwoo. We never get to see anything from Mingyu before this selection, right?
Uh-huh.
I think when Gyuri picks Minwoo, like Minwoo is shocked. Like he wasn't
Yeah.
expecting to get picked. But like Mingyu didn't look that shocked.
He did look bummed.
You think so? I don't know. I didn't really get any like huge emotions from Mingyu, and maybe he just doesn't show
I mean,
emotions
he's
as
definitely
much.
like in his feelings on his actual date.
Yeah, I mean that's just kind of the vibe of that date, I guess. But yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
they're
Like,
both
what's
just sad.
because Gary also we talked about this conversation he was having with Min Young in the last episode, where he was like, I was saying like he was giving her advice or talking
Oh,
about
like
like the
maybe he was also
scenario.
experiencing a similar thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the scenario where like you like somebody but they're not here, or well, I forget what it was exactly, but he was
Yeah.
like expressing sympathy with Min Young's situation in a way that it made me feel like he was also referring to his situation on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The Gyuri and Mingyu thing is like I don't even know what's going on. Like it seems like they were
They might have had
vibing.
a like similar like open discussion where she would like, I'm still curious about Minwoo, so I would like to go to paradise with him, and then we'll see what happens, you know? Where and like otherwise Mingyu had been her number one or whatever, but
Okay.
you know, they might just be really open about like, I wanna, you know, check out this other person first. And it's all hidden to from us so that way they can use curious surprise things, you know?
Yeah, that's my best guess too. Like, yeah, they had a similar conversation, but it wasn't as interesting. So they showed this conversations we saw, but basically the breakdown of the Gyuri Mingyu conversation would have been like, I'm still interested in you, but I want to go with somebody else to paradise, and I'm gonna pick Minwo, and that's
Yeah.
basically yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he knew, like he still might have been not happy with it, but he wasn't like blindsided by the announcement. It didn't seem like.
Yeah. That's her.
Yeah, and then yeah, I was like so upset about this too because I was blindsided by it, and we got robbed of the Sia and Minwoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
This definitely really opens the door for your prediction of Minwoo winning the fight pit. If
Ah.
we're getting the fight pit,
Yeah, maybe we're not.
yeah, that would kind of be exciting. But also, we've
That
talked
would
about
be
it so
great.
much that at this point, I kind of want it, but
Fair. Yeah. Yeah.
just for our narrative predictions. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was like so mad in the moment. I was so mad at Gary in this moment. I was like, Gary, you pass on Minwoo twice, and then you take him now. And then I was like, oh wait, she actually did pick him on the first day,
Yeah.
and Minwoo actually didn't pick her. So I actually forgot about that. So yeah, I was actually kind of annoyed. I must have been invested in the Sia and Minwoo thing because
Mm.
I was really upset by this.
All right.
Yeah, and then I was like, is she out on Mingyu? Like, what's going on? I don't know. We've never seen anybody be like, no, I'm not going with you to paradise, right? I don't know if the show would
Well,
like
like,
allow it,
yeah,
but
I don't know if the show would allow it, and also
yeah.
it's I get to have somebody else make me a nice dinner instead of
But like Minwoo
like,
knows that Sion would pick him. Like if Minwoo was like, I'm not going with you, but you
oh,
know,
yeah, yeah. I don't think production would allow it.
yeah, you can't break the drama of the show, I guess, by doing that. Okay, yeah, the Minwoo fight pit storyline is definitely back. Oh, here we go. We get from Mingyu says to the guys, his roommate guys that he is with during the selections. He says, "I'm going to go with Gyuri at the end, no matter what." So we at least okay. We
Yeah,
know Mingyu's committed. All right,
yeah.
and like I don't know. I just can't tell what's going on because
We're not getting any of her side of anything,
yeah.
really.
And is that like a bad sign for Mingyu, or is it just not like his story is just not interesting to show? I don't know. I guess we only need Gyuri's perspective if he's 100% committed.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Then Haesung picks
One.
Wanik. Does not pick Guanhee, but it didn't feel like a big
Well,
deal
she said she
because
wasn't gonna. Yeah,
she
yeah.
said she wasn't going to. Guanhee told her not to, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Wanik has gone to paradise a good amount for somebody that's also not a big character on the show. Like Wanik won the squat game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's been
But
to paradise
that
twice.
was just lunch.
That was just lunch. That's true. But then he's been to paradise twice now, and he's just not a big character on the show. That's got to be pretty bad for his edit perspective, right?
Yeah.
And he's gonna win the guys game in this one too. Like my theory on the show is like you can center the narratives like around who's gonna win the games. and like who they're gonna select. And Wanik is winning a lot of the games, and he's like still not part of the show.
I wonder if maybe like after this he might become more of it, depending on how Haesun feels about him, and it like turning into a her switching away from Guan Hee situation is kind of what I was hoping for. I don't know that we're gonna get that though.
Yeah, I mean he's only on the show because he's winning these games, right? Like he's like,
yeah, I guess that's fair.
He's mostly like a side comment on like, I like this person, and then I'm also curious about Wanik. Like that's like Haesung's perspective. So he's not he's gonna be in the next episode because he's gonna go to paradise with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, Haesung says she's been curious about Wanik, but never saw them picking each other. So she thought this would be the best chance for her to force him to have a date with her.
Yep, that's how these go.
That's actually, yeah, I would put it that way to troll Sarah, but
yeah.
So there's like a couple times where they talk about this, like in the beginning of the show, they have to like pick each other in order to go to paradise. Am I forgetting in season 1 and season 2, like, do they ever get a chance to go to paradise like that again? Or is it all game based for forced selections?
Is there a last one where they get to like pick?
Like they pick match, go to paradise, and then they pick again at the end of the show? Like that doesn't seem like what the show would do.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. Yeah, I think it's just games until the end.
Yeah, there's a few times where like Haben later in this episode is going to like be trying to get Ha Jong to pick him, like knowing that he's gonna pick, like they want to like, people are setting up like, let's pick each other for paradise, so that we match, but they're not really a matching thing. I guess it works either way, like you're saying, like if you win a game, pick me, I guess is the idea.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but like Haesung saying here, like I guess she's just saying that like even if Wanik wins a game, he's not gonna pick me, right?
Yeah.
So if I want to get his attention, I have to pick him. I guess that makes sense. I guess I was just reading their comments as like, oh, we're gonna have a chance to pick each other in order to match later, and that's never happening. That's not a thing on this show, right? Okay. All right, then Sion does exactly what I would have done here. And she just revenge picks Mingyu back. And then their whole date just turns into them talking about,
oh, I wonder what they're doing on their date.
Yeah, what are Minyu and Gyuri doing on their date? That's all we see in their date.
Yeah, but it's great because it's interspersed with scenes of Gyuri and Minwoo like swimming together and like slightly sexy music, even though they're probably not having that kind of a good time.
Yeah.
Just the editing is really funny.
But this is I wrote down, I'm picking Mingyu here. I'm pissed. Like I was pissed. I was pissed for Sion here, and I was like, yeah, I'm picking Mingyu. I mean, like, she did express interest in Mingyu. She picked Mingyu on, like, the first day, right? So it's not totally out of nowhere, but I chose to see it as a revenge pick. Like, we got Gary feeling some sort of way by going.
Yeah.
Maybe Gary and Sion don't get along.
That's why we didn't get them talking to each other about it. Yeah, maybe.
They were also, like, targeting each other in the wrestling match.
That's true.
Somehow Sion thought or knew that Gyuri was also gonna pick Minwoo, and that's why she like went for her. They went for each other because they were somehow both aware of that they were both picking Minwoo. And maybe they don't get along. I don't know. Do we get a lot of Sion Gyuri conversations? I feel like I can't remember a single one. Like maybe they were in the same container together as a group conversation. But I don't think we ever got.
Yeah, I think that's it. We don't get them hanging out too much.
And then Mingyu is shocked by Sion's selection. So
even like double checks with the guys, like they said my name, right?
Yeah,
like...
Mingyu is way more shocked about Sion's selection than he is about Gyuri's selection.
Yeah.
All right, let's get off. Well, the couples leave for paradise, but we stay on Inferno.
Yes,
because that's where Guan Yi is, so we can't go anywhere.
Yep.
Oh my God, there's so. Oh wait, no mind. Yeah, wait, how long does it take for us to get to paradise?
A long time.
The rest of this episode stays on Inferno, right? Or my notes are,
I don't know.
Maybe I messed up my notes.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Holy we're staying on paradise. I have so many notes on before we go to paradise. Okay. Jesus. What happened? Okay. All right, we're gonna go right to another battle between Hajong and Guan Yi.
It's not even a battle. She just friggin' apologizes to this garbage man.
It's all a game. I have to believe it's all a game.
It's not a game
It's
anymore. She
not.
just likes him because he's tall or whatever. She's like,
Yeah.
I was too harsh. I got carried away. I'm sorry. I really like you. I was jealous.
Yeah.
Gross.
It's all a trap, Sarah.
I want to believe, but
Yeah, I don't actually
I
believe it either.
don't
Okay,
believe.
here's the hope though. See, like the hosts are still Barry and Guanhee. They still
Mm-hmm.
don't like him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's still out there. So I'm keeping the hope alive. This is what I think it is, or this is my fingers crossed.
Dream.
Yeah. So Hajan actually does like Guanhee the most, right? But
Okay.
she didn't even like really give out a candy. Like she was annoyed with him enough to not give him a candy. She gave one to Hanbin, but
Mm-hmm.
everyone gave one to Hanbin, so that's like nothing. She might have been kind of interested in Hanbin, but I think she realized Hanbin sucks after after that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But she's really not interested in the other guys, it seems.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So maybe there's some genuineness to like, okay, she actually thinks Guanhee is the best. All right. But
Mm-hmm.
like, let's say they go to paradise together again, and Guanhee just like really sucks again. Like Hajan,
Yeah.
like she could still change her tune about him again.
Or she could spend the rest of her time on revenge. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I did like you the most, but then we had our second date, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this. And then, but then it's like so late in the show that like Guanhee's gonna pick her still in the end, and then she can still walk away from him in the final moment.
Oh, one can only hope.
It could even be better where because like Haben might pick Hajong too, right? So she might be walking away from two guys and not picking anybody. That
That
would
would
be
be
great.
really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she starts apologizing for all the things we liked her for in the last couple
Yep.
episodes. And I
Mm-hmm.
wrote in my notes, boo, get out of here. I hate you now. Like I wrote in
Mm-hmm.
my notes, okay, who do we hate more now? Guanhee or Hajong?
Oof. We
I
can
was
just
so mad at Hajong in this
yeah.
scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I liked
No
her
good.
in the wrestling match again, and then this happened. I said, nope, I hate her. I hate her too.
I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
You're
You
not mad?
know?
No, I'm mad. I'm mad because it's so believable. I mean, I have the hope that it won't end that way still, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is very
I
disappointing.
think yeah,
I
I
wrote I'm
think we're
all the way
stuck.
out. I wrote I'm all the way out in Hajong, but I think later in my notes she says some stuff that I liked again, so I keep going back and forth with Hajong.
Oof.
Um, yeah, this isn't going in the right direction. I think Guanhee actually does a good job here. I'm gonna still try to be objective.
Okay.
He takes this like she's apologizing to him, and
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like he takes this in a really cool way where like he's like, you don't have anything to apologize about, and like he's actually not upset with her at all. It seems
Yeah.
like I wrote in my quotes like if this was like Survivor, you would say like, oh, it's just a game, like because these two are just playing a game, right? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's just a game. I get it. We're just trying to compete for time on the TV show. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, but like somehow the host interpret this conversation as like Guanhee being done with Hajong.
Well,
Where did
like
that come
it's no
from?
big deal because like he doesn't
Oh, like he doesn't
he
care.
doesn't care because he
Hmm.
doesn't care about her is kind of what they were going for.
Okay. I guess I kind of saw it as like what I've been saying for a while was like, oh, he doesn't really care about.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't care about if
Anyone.
anybody what
Yeah.
anybody says to him. I don't think like.
He was probably like, that probably made good TV, so whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. And then this conversation between the hosts, like saying, oh, Guanhee's definitely out on Hajin now. That made the end of the show. So now I'm really convinced that Guanhee will pick Hajin in the end.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Next conversation. Minji is gonna confront Guanhee about calling her Dipsy.
Which was incorrect. That was actually Hobbin.
Yeah.
But my fears have come to fruition where Jinsuk and Minwoo talking about how Guanhee is funny has led her back to Guanhee. And I don't like
He's
it.
also
So now
tall,
she's showing
though.
interest. Yeah, yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
He's tall.
Yeah.
But yeah. So she wants a tour from him. She wants to talk to him. Was not a fan of new interest in Guanhee.
But then, like, it seemed like the whole last episode, she kept bringing up the Dipsy comment and the grass comment as if like she
Mm-hmm.
didn't like those comments. But then when she finds out Guan He was the one that called her, like said she
Or
looked like grass,
she was
she
like
was like,
grass,
"Oh, I
yeah.
actually liked that grass comment."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, if you're tall, it's a compliment.
You
If
can
you're
get
not
away with
tall,
anything. Yep. Ugh.
uh, it feels great. I think we're learning a lot of good information from the show. I'm down. I mean,
Good,
I
unfortunate
I
information.
subscribed. I subscribed to all of this. This has to be true.
Well, yeah, you're tall. Of course you're gonna love this.
Oh yeah. Uh, and then yeah. So Minji asked Guan He to show her the island, and yeah, I wrote in my notes, not another Guan He storyline. We don't need this.
Nope, here it is. We got it. And then we get a confessional from him where he's like, I think I really connected with Minji the quickest of anybody. And it was shocking and refreshing. And I'm like, do not tell me she's your number one now. I cannot deal with this again.
Yeah. Yeah. Guani starts to like dead serious give her a tour of the island though. And like she definitely just wanted to talk to him. He was
And
like
get him away from other people. Yeah, yeah.
He was like, "Oh, we should probably go to the water well first. I'll show you that." And she was like, "I don't really want to see the water well." And then he was like, "Well, didn't he say something about like it's really buggy at this time of day. It's not really the best time for a tour." And she was like, "No,
Oh, yeah.
like no duh. Like this is not why I asked for a tour." He's like, just keeps giving her the tour anyway.
And he's like, "Yeah, there's a boat over there, but it's really hard to eat in, so maybe don't
Yeah,
go there."
Guani is literally not trying at all. Like this is like,
Yep.
like he's actually
Don't
just
have to
giving
try
a tour.
when you're so flippin' tall.
Yeah. But then they finally sit down at one of the like the conversation spots, and she's like flirting with him hard.
Oh, so hard.
She puts on his glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's literally not trying.
Yep.
I guess this guy is just so cool. It doesn't matter.
Ugh.
He just his existence is good enough.
Yeah, I still don't get it, but okay.
Yeah. But honestly, like, okay, if I'm objectively just watching this conversation for what it is, like, I think he is actually good here again. Like, he's actually like a little self-deprecating in this. Like, he's like he says like, "Oh, I thought you would be into like all the other guys over me." He also thinks like all the guys will be into her, so he's like giving her compliments. Like, it's not his normal routine. And like I take that as I took it as a sign as like, oh, he's not into her, which maybe means at least like he's into the other women because he's doing he's doing his thing with them, but like he's not even. I don't know. It's maybe, like the opposite.
Maybe he's just tired. Is too hard to juggle all these women.
That could be too.
Trying to be on TV so hard all the time.
It could be fatiguing. He hasn't been to Paradise in a couple days. Yeah, we're starting to see the real Guan He when he's not trying to be a character on a TV show. He's just not trying.
Can only tolerate this man when he's exhausted.
You get to really meet him when he's struggling. Yeah, that's what we want. Maybe that is it. Like, it's just like he didn't get to go to Paradise. He didn't have enough energy to do his thing, and that's why he's a little more low key in these 2 episodes. All right. We're still in Inferno. Now it's dinner time. And then this is where Min Young's starting to be very public about her feelings for Jin Sok, right?
Yes.
Because Minji's still here too. So she's doing it in front of Minji as well. And then she keeps asking Jin Sok about Paradise last night, even though Minji's like right there too.
Yep.
They make it seem like the hosts talk about it again. This is the hard sell that I'm talking about with Minji. Like, they talk about it like, oh, if I was Jin Sok, I would be annoyed by this. But I'm like, really? You would be annoyed by this girl, like, publicly being interested in you? Yeah. I don't know. Well, and I feel like Jin Sok is, like, laughing with Min Young in this scene more than anything.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think Jin Sok, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I would enjoy this, but I feel like Jin Sok can't be that annoyed by this.
Yeah, he does not seem very annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're only annoyed here if, like, you really, really like Minji and you think like this is ruining your chances. But like, I don't know. That's not what this is.
Yeah, how Min Young was annoyed before when she just wanted to know the other guys, but Jin-Sok was being really obvious in front of everyone.
Yeah. Well, she was annoyed by it. But I don't think
Yeah.
Jinsong
That's what I'm
is being,
saying.
like I don't think Jinsong
Yeah.
is annoyed by it. But I guess they can sell that because that's how Min Young was feeling earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then it's time for Inferno game night with all the 6 losers that stayed behind.
Yeah, which is just ask each other questions, and also there's a Jenga tower nearby.
They're playing
'Cause
Jenga
why
too.
not?
Yeah. Oh, this is why I have so many notes because they ask each other questions. Okay, here we go. All right, Minji asks Min Young, "Do you think you'll have a change of heart going forward?"
She does not think she will.
I don't think so. Okay. Hajan asks Ha Bin, "Which girl are you thinking about the most?"
He says Hajong.
Big reaction. They all have big reactions to answers to all the questions here.
Yeah, it's more fun that way.
Minji asks Hajan how she feels about Guan He after going to paradise with him. This question was kind of like less formal though, and it ends up like I feel like Guan He like
we don't get the
changes.
answer.
Yeah,
to
there's
this.
no answer.
Like,
I don't know if there was an answer to this, but because it wasn't like a question.
Minji
that
takes it back because she's just like, maybe that's too direct. Maybe I shouldn't be asking
yeah.
you that.
It was like a
she
question
kind of...
that came up in like not the flow of the game. So Guan He ends up just like asking another question before this question gets answered.
Yeah.
So Guan He asks Hajong her thoughts after what Habin just said, which is thinking about her the most.
Yeah, and she says she's been wanting to go to paradise with him for some time now, so...
Hajong wins the game. That's a point for Hajong. That's what that was.
But it's an imaginary point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course.
Well, because she really is still just hung up on Guan He, yeah.
Yeah, she said it, and it made the edit of the show. Like, she wins.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
We didn't really dive too deep in her feelings about Habin. Because the moment that I think Habin is terrible is coming up later. Oh, no, she was the one that was like Habin picked her twice, and then she was like, I thought you didn't like me that much, or something. Yeah, so I don't know. There is like a Habin Hajan thing going on, but I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
I feel like she doesn't like him that much, even when she says this, though. Right?
Oh yeah, 100%. This feels like just her trying to pretend to express interest in somebody in front of Guan He.
Yeah, it's the battle with Guan He. That's why she says this.
Yeah.
All right. Minji asks Hajong if she's made up her mind,
and it takes her a long while, and
then
and then she finally says she thinks she has.
Yeah. Mine said, I think I'm getting there.
Oh,
it's like
okay.
almost she has.
Almost, yeah.
Minji's gonna find out about Guan He's announcement about the 3 girls he likes. She didn't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
And then Hajan asks Guan He if his feelings have changed since the announcement of the 3 girls after the candy giveaway.
Yeah. He says his mind has evolved, and now he's mostly made up his mind, and by this time tomorrow he'll be down to one person who he's gonna stick with until the end.
And mine said, actually, I've completely made up my mind. which just seems false.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, so I didn't believe that. But again, it's like point for Guan He. Unless he's made up his mind about Hajong. I don't know. It feels like, yeah, he's just saying something. I don't know. No way it's Minji, right? Like that's what the hosts think he's saying.
Yeah, that's what
like no
they're
way.
trying to push pretty hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think so.
I can't believe that being a thing unless he just is trying to, again, like make it more. He's just doing something dramatic for the show. That's what it feels like to me. Yeah, it feels like he's just saying words.
I mean, and also like right now, like maybe he's being a little pouty about Haesun not actually picking him for paradise. And so maybe he's entertaining the Minji thing a little bit more just to like make it seem like, I don't know.
Was there an indication that he was entertaining the Minji thing other than like they talked and there was a confessional?
Well, yeah, there was that confessional where he's like, oh, we connected so quickly. And I think they have a bit of time together later.
But not at this point.
They're like,
at this point when the hosts are saying like, oh, I think he's definitely talking about Minji. Like, I don't know where that's really coming from.
Yeah, probably mostly just that one confessional and the expectation that he seems like the kind of guy who would be like, oh, new shiny thing, let's go.
Yeah, that's like the one reason I could see him picking her. Oh yeah, he claims that whoever he picks tomorrow, he will pick in the end. That's an important line that sets up for the end of this episode, end of these episodes. And then I wrote, I guess he really thinks he will get top 3 in the fight pit, but it's not going to be the fight pit. But I don't know how he was so. I guess he like should be confident to some degree that he can get top 3. in any
Yeah.
physical thing.
Yeah, he's a literal
But
professional
he's actually a
athlete.
professional
Yeah.
athlete. I don't know. The fight pit's a little bit of a chaos, though. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah, but he's saying that he thinks he'll be able to pick somebody, and he also must be saying I think I'm gonna be able to pick first too, right? Because like you might not be able to pick the person.
Well, in my translation, it was less about like picking a person and more about just like by this time tomorrow, I'll know what's up. And then that person, like once
Oh,
I figure this out tomorrow, that's the person who I'm gonna be with till the end.
oh, he's gonna figure it out, not necessarily like he's planning on picking them. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Um, and then Jinsok asked Habin if he could change his mind from Hajong before the end, and then, but does he just say like he hasn't even talked enough with her to
Yeah,
make
he
that
hasn't had enough.
conclusion?
Yeah, he hasn't had a chance to really talk to her. And then so like everybody leaves the table so they can talk, but he still doesn't want to talk because he wants to talk in paradise.
Yeah, and that's where Habin loses me here.
Yeah, it's very dumb.
I'm 100%
He
out of the
just
guy.
wants to go to paradise.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's that. Like the one thing I could think of is like age and occupation are extremely important to him, and he doesn't want to waste his time if like he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
But
But
at the
like
same time, like that's the TV show. Like, what are you doing?
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
And also I sometimes I feel like I'm missing something because everybody seems to place so much importance on like how much more open you can be in paradise than in Inferno, where literally the only rules we know of are you just can't say age, you just can't say occupation. Like you could talk about the full scope of the rest of your life on Inferno as far as I'm concerned, but nobody seems to feel that way ever. And maybe it is just the dedicated one-on-one time that makes it seem more open and candid or something, but it always confuses me whenever anybody's like, yeah, talking on Inferno, nothing. Must go to paradise.
Yeah, but I don't even feel like Habin just wants to go to paradise because like if you wanted to go to paradise, you would put into effort to try to go to paradise, and he's not even doing that. He's not even doing that.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why Habin's on this show at all. I mean, we've talked in the past about how like some people are just weird about talking to people if they don't know their age, and I maybe
That is true.
Habin is just one of those people. But it's definitely, if that's the case, that's definitely a big factor of what's holding him back in the show.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Habin's saying like, "I just want you to pick me so we can talk in paradise," right?
Yes.
Basically, but like, is Hajong ever gonna get a chance to pick him again? Like, she didn't win the game. Is there gonna be another women's game? Maybe, but even then, she might not win. So like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Habin, I don't know what he's doing. All right, Jinsok and Minji are gonna talk. This is crazy how many conversations we get for Paradise.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, Minji is questioning if Jinsok is actually interested in her.
Yeah, she says he seems like he's on his honeymoon.
Yeah, the translation term of the day that I had in these episodes was miffed. They kept saying
okay.
They kept saying like someone's, instead of saying what was it in the last episode? It was peeved. They were saying peeved in the last episode. But now people are miffed.
Now we moved on to miffed. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
What are these like British terms?
Yeah,
like, peeved and miffed aren't really used in America that much.
They seem more British, yeah. But yeah, she's saying a lot of how like she's feeling really uncomfortable because like it seems like he's really coupled up with Min Young and she was not prepared for that. And she kind of feels a little dumb.
Yeah.
For, like being kind of into him and then he has somebody already.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I remember like they showed this moment where she's questioning his interest in her like in the preview, and it seemed more dramatic. More like she was being more dramatic, but it because we got to see the whole way how Min Young acted when Jinsok got back, I think it's like kind of fair. But she's definitely not giving up, right? Like she honestly don't think Minji has a clear path to being a couple at the end of the show because she is the game changer and it's always hard.
Yeah.
But like I appreciate that she doesn't really give up. I don't like that she's like into Guanhee or whatever. But even with Jinsok being probably the guy with the most obvious relationship on the show, like she's not like steering away from him. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
She's doing something. I appreciate Minji's effort on this show, even though I don't think she has a very good path. Unless I'm totally wrong about the Jinsok thing. But...
Yeah. I mean, she's doing some quality flirting in here.
Yeah, I think she's
like trying to console her, being like, oh yeah, I bet all the guys are, like you. And she's like, but they aren't you. You know, she says the cute things.
Yeah.
She's putting the work in.
Yeah, at times she's like a little like almost too in your face with the flirting where it doesn't seem real.
Kind of like how I was saying about Jinsuk to begin with. Like he says the right thing, and I couldn't decide if I could trust it or not.
I didn't agree with you on that with Jinsook. For me, it's different, but yeah,
Okay.
what you were saying about him before, that's how I feel about Minji.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so like maybe they're perfect together because they're both like over the top, ridiculously cutesy, and it would be adorable. But maybe not.
maybe. I don't know. I don't know how much Minji really likes Shinsuke either. You know? It's just like he's just something to do on the show. Like what else
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Minji gonna do if she's not flirting with Jinsuk and Guani?
And the tall man, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
She says to Jinsuk, "You basically have a wife here." She even asked, "Do you love her?" Jinsuk is like playing it off like, "Oh, everybody's just teasing us. Like it's not as big a deal as you're saying it is." He is at least saying that, so like, yeah, you're right. Like, there's at least some level of Jinsuk being interested in Minji, but I still think like if Minyoung gives out one candy, like
we're
he's
not
yeah,
we're not here worrying about
this
this.
isn't a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jinsuk tells her a lot of the guys are going to like you, and so this is the second time in one day that a guy is going to tell her that a lot of the other guys are going to like her, which is a compliment, but it's also, I feel like, something you say when
it's also a rejection.
You don't really mind if she goes talks to the other guys. Like, you're letting her know, like, yeah, they're all going to like her. Like, you should go talk to everybody. You don't have to worry about me so much.
Yeah.
Like, is there a scenario where like somebody has said this to somebody and they were interested in them, like really interested in them? I don't know. Maybe there is.
Maybe
some nice person just said that and they're just being genuine. But I feel like it's not really a thought that enters your head unless you're trying to like kind of at least set somebody up to like letting them down easy. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely has those vibes.
And then in Jinsok's confessional that we see, he says, this is my translation, it says, "I didn't think I'd develop feelings for anyone else, but I was a bit attracted to Minji." Not like a raving review of Minji compared to Minyoung, you know? Like, the way he felt about Minyoung on day 1 or day 2 is like way more intense than how he currently feels about Minji on day 1, day 2.
I don't know, like on day 1, day 2, I feel we got a confessional from him where he was like, yeah, I don't really think any of the other girls are my type at all. So, yeah, okay. You know, like it wasn't an overly enthusiastic, like, yeah, Minyoung. It was more like, yeah, she's the only one that's relatively even close to what I'm into, so okay.
So was it like day 3 when Jinsuk, I guess when they finally get back together, when the islands merge, is when Jinsuk was like, "I missed you," and he says all the right things, right?
I mean, the whole time he was saying all the right things. It's just he had a confessional that was more like, sure, whatever. You know, like that probably also contributed to my like, he's saying too many of the right things. I don't know if I believe them.
Okay.
So like, just I feel like it's a similar level of like a little bit of interest, not super committal.
He didn't say like, "I'm not attracted to all these other girls," and Minyoung is a bit attractive. Like, he didn't say it like that, but he's saying like that. He's saying about Minji like, "Oh, she's a bit attractive." At least this is my translation of.
Well, I think in the earlier confessional, like we didn't get fully what he was talking to. Like honestly, I don't know that he even said anything about Minyoung in there. He was mostly just like, I don't really find these girls attractive.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to lay down the breadcrumbs of why he's not picking Minji. But okay. All right. Jinsuk and Minyoung, they're gonna talk now. Yeah, she just like admits that she was hitting on him at dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's annoyed that
he's not really flirting
like,
back the way,
reciprocating it, or not reacting in the way that she thought he would. Because again, like in her mind, it's like, okay, he was totally into me, but I didn't reciprocate it. But now I'm being totally into him, and he's like, it's
not reciprocating.
I can understand how you would feel like it's only been like 24 hours, and now I'm reciprocating his feelings. It's kind of weird to not see him be happy about that, I guess. Like, or at least as happy as she would think he would be.
Mm-hmm.
But she's basically all in on him now, right? Like she doesn't have anything.
Yeah, and she kind of explains how her process of like feeling weird about it, but now like she's really realized how she felt about him. Then he's just like, yeah, I'm not sure about how I feel about you anymore. And it'd probably be best if we just kept our options open. And it doesn't sound like it goes well for her.
Yeah, it's a total role reversal of their last conversation. But again, I just think Jinsok is in that first day still. Or I guess I guess it's been
Well,
about
if
a
this,
day, but it was like a
yeah,
day and then Minji showed up and then I don't know, I'd give him another day here at least to think
okay,
about everything. Yeah, it's like the first time he's talking to her one on one, I think, after their last conversation. So I can see why I don't know. There's an element of like you don't want to be the fool on these shows who gets played. So I think he's like I don't know. I feel like
okay,
he's a little covering himself from that standpoint.
okay,
But I feel like if Min Young continues to act the same way she did today for like the rest of the season, like I don't see how
yeah, she's gonna win
Jin
him
Suk
over.
would
Yeah,
not be happy about that. It's like
yeah, yeah.
the only worry here would be if she now gets like it flips back around and now she's like, oh, I guess I should be looking at other people now. But there's not going to be a man's game changer, right? So it's like, what can she
Yeah,
really do?
there are no new people.
Yeah.
She's already basically disregarded the other guys.
As long as she
Yeah,
doesn't check out and she just still continues to flirt with Jinsuk, I don't see how they don't get back together here.
yeah,
I think she seems genuine about this. Like again, like we think Jinsuk's
yeah.
great.
Mm-hmm.
My best guess is like she just didn't feel like she didn't see her path on the show being like I show up on day one, I meet a guy, and then I never date anybody the rest of the season. Like I don't think that was her
Yeah,
expectation going into the show. And when it
I
started
think she was
becoming that,
excited about. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, when it started becoming that, I think she was like she panicked a little bit and was like, this can't be what it is, right? Like I don't know.
yeah. Like she came in excited to like date a bunch of new guys and see what's up, and she's like, wait, I accidentally. Oh, you know.
Yeah. And then she got over that quickly when she realized like, oh, these other guys aren't all that. Like
Yeah.
what am I doing? Yeah. So I've forgiven Min Young entirely here and I'm actually rooting for her now.
Yeah, yeah. I would agree.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I still think there is a little something with this Minji Jinsuk side of things a little bit. It is cute to watch them flirt, but yeah, I do think he's gonna swing back around.
I'm still enjoying the Jinsuk Minji stuff, but yeah, I would just be shocked if it's not Min Young in the end. That's basically
Yeah,
I would put it, yeah. All right. And then I wrote in my notes, Jinsuk must win the fight pit too. Like lock it in.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I was thinking about this. So what's gonna happen with the guys game is that it's not gonna be the fight pit. And again, maybe I'm not remembering, like maybe there's always multiple games and then the fight pit's just the last one. But instead of it being a fight pit like I thought it was gonna be, it ends up just being like
Mm-hmm.
a long distance like sprint race up and down some hills on the Inferno one. And like I
Yeah.
feel like there's just been a few points in this season where they changed the format in a way that it seemed like it might be helpful to Guan He that they changed it that way.
Yep.
um
I agree.
so I started thinking like, is there any chance that they role reverse the end selection mechanic where like the women are gonna pick first, so that like Wan He's decision can be like the climax
Oh,
of the
it
season?
might be. I feel like we've speculated about that on earlier seasons if that would ever be the thing.
Yeah.
Just depending on how the story plays out.
If you were ever gonna do it, like this is it, right? Like Guan He,
Yeah.
they really are setting up Guan He's decision to be the biggest moment.
Mm-hmm.
But like previously, the big moment, like the biggest moment for a guy's decision is like somebody's fight pit selection.
Yeah.
Or like winning, whoever's going to win the fight pit is like really the big moment in terms of the guy's narrative on the show. And then at the end, in the first two seasons, the women are making like the final decision. So the climax of like the women's narratives are kind of
Mm-hmm.
bigger than the guys. But there's a chance they flip that this year, I think.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, like then everything kind of changes where like the guys' narrative in terms of winning the fight pit doesn't really have to be there if the guys are making the final decision.
That's
In
true.
my head, I was thinking about how Jinsok probably needs to win the fight pit now in order for us to get like a big moment where he's choosing between Minyoung and Minji. But if they
Okay.
role reverse it at the end of the game, at the end of the thing, then he doesn't really need to win the fight pit. Like it could just draw
That's
out
true.
until the very end. And it's the same thing with Guanhee. Like I thought Guanhee would win the fight pit for sure because his choice needs to be a big one, and it's going to be a big one when because he's gonna the production basically like gives him something he's gonna win at as the game.
Yeah.
And so we are getting like a big moment from him at the start of episode 8.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure like when this conclusion, like when is Jinsuk gonna have to make his big decision? I don't know if it's fight pit
Yeah.
or at the end.
Tangent that's maybe not that interesting, but do you think it's just impossible to have a fight pit on the shitty island because it's all rocks and it's not sandy and it's too dangerous to fight pit on the rocks without everybody getting scratched up to hell?
They definitely can't do it exactly the same way. Like they would have to like special build it. But there's no reason
Yeah.
like they couldn't dig a hole because in the previous
It's
seasons they
rocks
just
all the
dug
way
a
down.
hole.
I don't
They dug a
know.
hole in the
Yeah.
beach and then like put ocean water in it, and then they
Yeah.
just had to be tossed into the sand. They would have to like bring in their own sand, but you can still dig a hole where the rocks are. It's like a little bit more effort. Yeah, I know you like, but I had that
Yeah,
same
it still
thought.
seems a little like you're gonna end up with the boys that get all cut up when they get thrown on
I mean,
out
if
of
they
the
put it, if they
pit,
put
you
enough
know?
sand around the pit
It's a
or
lot of
whatever,
sand.
yeah, they could definitely do it, but it's a little bit maybe more expensive than it it was
Mm.
before when they just needed a shovel to do it, and that was about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if this fight pit's coming or not.
Yeah, hard to tell.
I'm kind of hoping for it now. I'll be honest.
It is a weird thing to hope for the fight pit, but
I'll
I
complain
kind of,
about
yeah,
it when it
exactly.
happens, but I kind of
100%.
we've
Yeah.
talked about it too much for it to not be in the show at this point.
Yep.
All right, and then Guanhee and Minji are gonna talk, and anything from this? I didn't think this conversation was
Yeah.
super interesting.
It wasn't anything really.
At the end, Guanhee has a confessional, and he says, "The one I've been waiting for has finally arrived." I think you kind of talked about that
Oh yeah,
in
yeah.
a similar confessional earlier about Minji. But again, it's confessional. Like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah, he calls
you're
her
doing the
his
show a
ideal
solid.
type and
If you're on if you're on the shows and the Game Changer shows up, like go to the confessional and be like, "Wow, the Game Changer is amazing. I really like them."
yeah.
If you end up being with them later in the show, they'll use that confessional.
Yep.
Or if they need to like create drama, they'll use your confessional.
Yep.
And then I kind of started like monologuing in my notes here about how I started complaining about Guanhi again. But like when someone is like
Yeah.
like is on the show and it's so obviously like performing for the TV show,
Uh-huh.
it's like annoying to watch them. Like even though Guanhi is really toned down in this and almost like reasonable, like
Yeah.
I still because of who he was earlier in the season, like I can't take anything he says seriously because
Yep.
yeah,
Because he's
and it's
just
like
proven himself to
and
be someone you
what's
shouldn't
like
take
frustrating.
seriously.
Like he could totally be being genuine in this moment where he's talking about Minji, and I just can't believe it because
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
like too annoyed with him from previously in the season. Like his words hold no value with me, so
Exactly.
that's why I prefer people not to do this. I like to feel like my reality TV is real. Like that's honestly the simplest way to put it.
Yeah. So silly. I'm always very cynical and believe that people only are on these shows to, be on TV. But I don't like it to be that. I don't want it to be this obvious and, gross. I wanted them to at least pretend, that they're here for love or whatever.
Yeah, but
a little bit.
Like you could go on the show. Like I think Sion is a perfect example of this. Like you can go on the show and like your thought going on the show was like, oh, this could be good for me and my career to go on the show. That could be your totally thought. But then you can also just be your real self and be a real person, and it's interesting. Like I'm interested in Sion, and I can tell, at least I'm believing that she's having real emotions out there, and she's not BSing us.
Guanhi is just the pinnacle, like the epitome of my worst, most I don't know, my worst ideas about what these shows could be, and he just is the manifestation of that. I don't like it, so I can't. There's no coming back from that once he's just thrown all that out there.
But these 2 episodes like could be the real Guan He. That's what I'm trying to throw out there.
Yeah, but he's ruined it. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way to come back from that. Like, how I feel about having to watch this man.
There's no way I'm rooting for the guy after the first 5 episodes. But
Yeah,
no matter how much they might be trying to shift him to a good guy narrative or whatever. And I guess they're not. Like, if the hosts are still burying him, I don't think they're really
yeah.
selling
Like,
that.
literally, next episode, I wrote this down with like a million just laughing emojis. One of them asked, "Is Guan He just dumb? Like, they're not building this man up."
I think they say that. One of the hosts says that in these episodes. I think, yeah.
No, yeah. It's in episode 7.
On the next episode. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you
yeah.
meant like in the previews. Okay, yeah. They say that, yeah.
Like, I'm real surprised they left that in there.
Yeah, let's move on. Something about this conversation with Minji just like triggered that in me to talk about. But then Hajong comes over and interrupts the conversation between Guan He and Minji. Here we go.
And she continues to disappoint.
And I wrote, "Oh, Guan He's gonna love this. You know, this is what he wants from the women." He's like, yeah, he wants them to be like this. Okay.
But yeah, he asks her if she and Haben have decided to go to paradise together, and she's like, "No, I just want to go with you. I like you the most." And I'm like, "Oh, where did cool
Also,
Hajong
Haben
go?"
sucks. Why would I go with that guy?
Well, yeah.
But she did say that in front of Guan He before, so she's. I don't know if she's backtracking now that, like, what if she had any interest in Haben after that conversation? There's no way, right?
Yeah. It's
so
over.
yeah, she could be backtracking and be like, "Yeah, I'm only interested in you now." That literally because of this conversation I had 5 minutes ago. Yeah, and she says, I think I like you the most," and then that's the end of episode 6. So there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, see, back to not liking Hajong. That's my Hajong update right now. All right, and then we come back in episode 7 to their conversation again.
Yes.
Yeah, Hajong tells him he's had the most impact on her and has made her feel the most emotions. But are they good emotions though? Like,
yeah, he's made me feel a lot of emotions, and they were not good.
Do you want to feel like this for the rest of your life? Like, am I missing something?
I think we're missing. You're missing how freaking tall this guy is.
Yeah, and like this is where I can't tell. Like, to me, it feels like Hajong is like saying things that are like she's not lying, but you can take them as a positive, even though she might mean it in a negative. So like it feels like she could be trolling here and like messing with him because of the phrasing, at least the English phrasing that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
But it feels like, I don't know, like would you go, that's why I can't tell, like would somebody go this far really to just like troll somebody on these shows though? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's what I think. It seems very unlikely, even no matter how much I want it, at least at this point. Like I'm just taking her for her word here. At least like she's interested in him the most. That was the phrasing. So she's saying it in the context of the 6 guys on this island. She's not saying like I really like you or anything. You know, that's why it's like she's not even like really saying anything, depending on how you look at it. I don't know. Yeah. And then she explains herself in a way that like I would hope this wouldn't be how you would interpret it, but if you were trolling him, this would be like a good way to explain it, where like she's saying she thinks like her frustrations with him were fueled by jealousy.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think that's true, but if I wanted to convince him...
Yeah, that would be totally the lie you would say.
Yeah, if I was going to explain myself, like, that is a good lie. But it's also, like, definitely a thing that some people, to, like, take whatever emotions they're having, and they come up with these kind of, like, BS explanations.
Yeah.
To justify them, and then they also believe those BS explanations. So it's just so hard to tell, but, like, I don't know, everything she says is, like, I don't know. I'm still holding on to this. I'm holding on to this.
I've given up on the hope.
You've given up
that
on
way
it?
I'm not disappointed in the end.
I mean, in my notes I wrote, "Is this for real? I hate this." Like that's what I wrote. But like, but talking through it, I just like I don't want to give up on it. I refuse. All right. Guan He tells her that the way she treated him at Paradise versus the way she treated him at Inferno were so different that he questioned whether or not she was being real with him on Paradise. And I wrote like that is a totally fair thing to think, actually, because I also feel like she wasn't being totally real. I don't know, like maybe he was like picking up on the fact that she was also doing a bit for the show, and then she was like,
But I feel like she's been doing a bit for the show the whole time. Like it's not like she wasn't snarky in Paradise. Like there was snark all over the place. So I don't understand his distinction of not thinking she's the same, like being the same person between. I mean, she's definitely being a fake TV person, but I feel like she's been a consistent fake TV person.
well, I think there's a difference in terms with respect to Guan He, because like whatever they had, and that, I mean, the whole sleep arrangement thing was weird at Paradise, but besides that, they were like kind of like they were teasing each other in like a flirty way. But then at Inferno, like she just starts straight up like just trashing on him, basically. So I think there is a
Well,
difference.
that is okay. That's fair. But is the bulk of that not after he like pulls his like her stunt of
Yeah, that's true
pointing out
too.
all the women?
Yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying that from Guan He's perspective, there was a change between Paradise. But then he's
Mm.
choosing to explain it like he's decided, at least the way he's explaining it here, is like he thinks that the Paradise her was fake, and then the way he's treated her in Inferno is like the real her. And then that could be
Ah, yeah.
true. Actually, like he honestly just might be right about that. like like the way she got pissed off and started
Mm-hmm.
trashing on him, like that, if anything was real about her this season, like that feels like it was real.
Yeah, that's fair. But I feel like he does not explain any of this well because, like, when she questions him, he starts bringing up, like, how she treats other people in terms of, like, putting walls up around them, whereas she hasn't put walls up around him. And I'm like, you're just describing somebody who has gotten close to you. This is not suspicious. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is from his perspective, it was like, oh, I thought we had something. Then you like straight up trashed on me, and that felt real. Like that felt more real than when you were flirting with me. And now she's coming back and flirting with him again. So like in this moment, it's possible like he actually just thinks she's being fake again.
Yeah, but I just think he does not articulate any of this
Oh
well.
yeah,
Like
I mean it's hard to
he
articulate. I
does
mean,
not.
I'm struggling to articulate right now.
No, but like I get what you mean, but I don't think like he does not follow any of his threads through like in a logical way. Like when she presses him for more information, he doesn't say so much as like I don't believe this flirting right now. He's just like I don't know which. I don't know. He's just very all over the place about it. And this is where the hosts call him dumb, and it made me laugh.
Yeah. But I don't think he necessarily should be saying like, "Oh, I think you're being fake right now." But he's trying to. I don't know. It felt like there might have been some level of honesty from Guan He here. Again, like he's low energy.
Mm.
He doesn't. Again, he's not really trying here. It just seems like he's being honest. Unless this could be like a setup for him not planning on picking her
Mm.
as well. I guess is the way to look at this.
Also like having an excuse out there so that way he doesn't seem like the bad guy or whatever by not choosing her.
It's kind of like what she did to Haben a little bit, where it's like it seemed like you were the one not being real at
Yeah.
Paradise, even though like he probably was also not being real. Oh, and this is actually one of my notes. Do we hate who do we hate more now, Guan He or Hacho?
I'll just group them together and toss them out. Like,
Oh, you think they're equal?
You know, they're no. I think he's way worse. But I mean, like
on the season, he's
if I'm
definitely way
cleaning
worse.
up this show and getting rid of people, it's just like you take both of them and throw them out. It's fine.
Yeah,
just lump that mess together and like kick them out. It's fine.
At this point, they're the entire show, and I need to see how it ends because I've thought about it way too much.
Okay. See, at this point, I just know how it's gonna end, and I'm not pumped about it.
You're convinced that they're just gonna pick each other, and that's the show.
Well, I'm convinced that she's gonna pick him. I don't know that I'm convinced of who he's gonna.
Oh yeah, if they role reverse it, it's still interesting. Like she picks him, and then he's picking.
Yeah, but then
like,
she can't walk away from him. You know.
Honestly, he could be picking between what Hajong, Haesung, and Minji in the end or something. That's probably if they role reverse it. That's like the story we're getting. That those are going to be the three women.
If they role reverse it and his stop is just like the last stop before you just go to the helicopter, and she just walks up, says goodbye to everybody along the way, and then just waves at him as she keeps walking.
Oh, like she doesn't even pick a guy.
She doesn't even pick a guy. She's like, bye.
I don't think like the guys had the option to not pick a girl.
Yeah, I know they haven't, but I want it to be an option.
Actually, no. I was thinking about this. What if 3 girls pick Guanhee and Guanhee walks away? Do we like that ending?
No, because he's just entirely the worst. And I know if Hajong did it, it would also just be to be like on TV, but I feel worse about him doing it.
I mean, I don't think it's just to be on TV. Like Guanhee sucks. Like I'm not picking him because he sucks.
Well, okay, yeah,
That's
that's
why I
true.
love it, because it's like I'm not even willing to pretend that this is a thing, and it's better. It's actually better for TV if I don't take you than it is if I take you. You
Yeah.
know,
Whereas if Guan he does it, it's not because anybody else sucks. It's just because he sucks.
for him, it's
Yeah, and
probably he's doing a TV
he's just
moment.
pulling a stunt.
Also, it would really fit my narrative that he's like kind of interested in somebody outside of the show.
Yeah.
That's my narrative on Guanhee.
Yeah, yeah.
Although in a preview, in the preview for next time, is he going to be saying to somebody like offering to sleep in the same bed?
That's what it sure looked
Or maybe
like.
it was just a joke. I feel like it's going to be just a
It's
joke.
probably a joke, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Hajong claims that she's being real right now, and I really hope she's not. Yeah, I see that. This is what I wrote. I wrote like this is honestly like a fascinating conversation between two people who are like being fake or were being fake with each other previously and now might be being real, but it's hard to tell. Like even they can't tell. Like that's what I kind of
Yeah,
appreciate
they're
from
so
Guanhee.
deep in it that they don't know
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's why I kind of like appreciated what Guanhee was saying. Like even he can't read Hajong because of like what we were feeling the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess like I feel like Hajong should be feeling the same way about Guanhee as Guanhee is saying about her, and that's why I'm holding out this hope that this is like all an act to some
Mm.
degree.
Yeah.
But I don't know. All right. Yeah, Hajong basically admits that she's all in on Guanhee here.
Yeah.
She said she made up her mind today, which I think that's true. She talked to Hobin. She didn't say I made up my mind 5 minutes ago, but that might have been when it happened.
Yeah, yeah.
She says she doesn't know why.
I mean, fair.
Yeah, she probably didn't want to say like, well, I just talked to Hobin. He sucks. Yeah, Guanhee does not return her commitment. That like he doesn't say he's
Yeah.
all in on her, but yeah. But again in this conversation, Guanhee's literally not even trying.
Yeah.
Was he talking? I don't know. I feel like he's maybe trying a little bit with Hye-song in these
Yeah.
episodes. And that's what's
I
kind
would
of
agree to
interesting.
that.
Like, well, we're gonna get into something that comes up later that makes this spicier. But if I didn't watch Guanhee original like in the previous episodes, and I just watched him here, I would
Uh-huh.
probably think like, oh, he's like not even interested in Minji or Hajong. Like, it's definitely like he's definitely interested in Hye-song.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair from
I'm
this.
not committing to that because I don't believe like anything he says. Like it's like
Yeah.
I don't know
Mhm.
why he does anything he's doing or why he's all of a sudden like such low energy and he's not really trying anymore. So I can't really read him the same way as other people.
Yeah.
But all right, still not in paradise. Min Young and Hajong are gonna talk.
Yeah, they're just filling each other in on their current situations. You know, Hajong's like, yeah, I told Guanhee that I like him and that I'm all in on him, and Min Young is talking about how things are with Jinsuk, and she's feeling like, oh well, I told him how I feel, and that's all I can do. But Hajong's like, no, you gotta really go for it and
Yeah.
put your all in, so he really understands.
Yeah, this is actually a conversation where I liked Hajong because she
Mm-hmm.
kind of like explains to Min Young like how from her perspective she can see where Jinsong is coming from, where like, you know, he's basically in the same situation you were in like 2 days ago. So
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of I don't know if she says like he's like getting you back or something, but like at least like she's saying like telling Min Young like, oh, you can at least see where Jinsong is coming from considering you were in the same situation 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
she's kind of like the emotional support friend here, which,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we're gonna get another like emotional support friend scene with Hajong later. I liked Hajong in those scenes. Like
Yeah.
Hajong seems smart and she seems like self-aware, or maybe not
So
self-aware,
why
but
is
like
she
she's like
wasting her
she's
time on Guanhee?
she's aware of like everything else going on around her, you know. So it's hard for me to believe
Yeah.
that she's like not self-aware of her own situation, but I guess that's definitely possible.
Yeah, people end up not being able to see them what they see in others and themselves all the
Yeah,
time.
that could be what it is. Yeah, and then hopefully this encourages Min Young to stick with Jinsuk.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to paradise finally.
Yeah. Finally, paradise. We get Haesun and Wonnik, and they are in a restaurant, and you can see the sunset, and it's very pretty. And we don't get a whole lot from this.
He guesses right that she's 26.
Well, everyone's 26 on this island.
Oh yeah, well,
Almost.
when we find out, I totally forgot. Gary's actually 28, which I did write down in my notes previously, but I just forgot and
Yeah.
assumed she was 26. If you're a guy on the show
Mm-hmm.
and you have to guess somebody's age, you just always say 26.
Apparently,
Like, not only is 26 seem like it's
the
a
age
very,
everybody is.
yeah, like
It's also the most frequent guess.
it has a high likelihood of being right, and I don't think anybody's going to be insulted if you're wrong in either
Yeah.
direction, right? Like, you can easily
Yeah.
just be like, oh, like if they're younger, you just be like, oh, you seem more mature, and if they're older, you're like, oh, you don't look older. So like, I feel
Mhm.
like 26, you need to guess somebody's
Yeah.
age
Solid pick.
on
Yeah.
Singles Inferno. That's the way to go.
Or just generally, I guess.
Well, I mean, maybe if you're in your 20s to early 30s and you're dating people,
Yeah.
and you have to guess, yeah, I guess.
Very specific circumstances, fair.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, their date turns into Wanik asking her a lot of questions about Kwani, at least from what we see. I'm sure they talked about other things, but that's all we get is like, I'm surprised you didn't pick Kwanhee. And then she says like, yeah, not for now, at least. And then they get in a car
and then
ride.
later he asks her if they click when they talk, and then she's like, goes into how he thinks she's different than what he thought she was, and now he's confused, which confuses her, and
she re-explains
how everything's a mess
that we got earlier in their conversation, basically.
Yeah.
And basically nothing between Haesun and Wanik here.
That's the entirety of the paradise date that we get with them,
which is an important note for what's going to happen later. And then we can speculate later in terms of Haesun and Wanik. All right, Gyuri and Minwoo they're the next couple we want to talk about here.
Yes.
Okay.
And they get to go out on a boat, and they have food and champagne, and the sun is setting, and this seems like a pretty and fun date. This is different from anything we've seen.
Yeah. This is probably like the coolest paradise date we've ever seen on the show.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost an activity.
Almost.
I mean, like, they go swimming. Gyuri and Minwoo are going to go swimming also, so it's not like this took the place of swimming. They're swimming.
Yeah.
This was just like,
this took the place of dinner.
A cool way to eat dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard sell music with these two. That's what I noted.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
She is a little bit shocked. Oh, well, I mean, it means that they want us to believe it.
Yeah. I'm so confused about the Mingyu thing. That's honestly what's confusing me the most.
Yeah.
I guess if they're gonna role reverse the ending of the show, like maybe Gyuri and Sion are gonna pick Minwoo, so they have to like have this be a thing at the end, or Minwoo's gonna win like some game in the future. Like, Minwoo doesn't win the race that they're gonna have, so
right?
Like, maybe he gets top 3 in that fight pit though, and then he has to choose between.
Right.
But okay, Gyuri cracks up laughing when he says that he's 24 years old.
Yeah.
Classic.
But, I would say that the rest of this date goes really well, considering, like,
it's okay.
In a lot of ways, it could have, just boarded up from here, and she'd be like, no, thank you. But I think, like, they have a cute, fun time, and she still seems to be into this date.
Yeah, she claims that age doesn't matter, but why'd she laugh so much? I don't know. She's 28, not 26, so we're actually talking about a 4-year difference here, so it's even more significant. I guess we don't know, like Sion and Minwoo don't, or Sion doesn't know Minwoo's age either, so we don't know how she is going to feel about it.
But they are closer in age, right?
They are closer,
She's 26?
She's 27. So Minwoo's actually with the 2 oldest women on the season, which is 1 and 2 years older than everybody else. At some point, maybe this was a mistranslation. For me, it says, like, she asks him, like, so who have you been to paradise with? And Minwoo says that he's been to paradise with Minji and Sion. But that's not, either the translation was wrong, or he misinterpreted the question, or I don't know. What did I...
Mine was, she was just, like, asking who he's interested in, and he's narrowed things down. But he didn't answer that. No, it's when he's talking about, like, how he's opened up more and he feels more comfortable now, because like they were talking about how he was pretty shy that first day when they both didn't go to
Yeah, they talk
paradise.
about that. Yeah.
And this is where he brings up Sion and Minji, and then he's like, by talking to them, like he's gotten more comfortable and he's opened
Okay.
up a bit more.
I swear my subtitles, like, the question was specifically like, who have you been to paradise with? But I guess he answers like, oh, these are the girls I talked to that helped me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm.
He's definitely only been with Minji, right? I'm not crazy.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, he
okay.
wants to go. He's been trying to go.
That's what I thought. I
with
thought it
Sion.
was like a slip of the tongue where like he's been thinking that he was going with Sion so much that he actually thinks he's already been with. Like he answers the question like he's already been there, or like he knows he's going to eventually, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they both kind of give non-answers when they ask each other if there's anyone else they're interested in.
She does like directly say that she's interested in him, though.
I mean, like she says, like, of course I'm interested in you. I picked you to go on this to paradise with me. But that's like what anybody would say, right? That's why I said it was kind of like a
Yeah,
non-answer.
okay.
Does she say she's only interested in him? She
mean,
might say that at some point.
I don't know. I have down that she's not really curious about anyone else, and I'm trying to remember if she said that to him or if that was a confessional. I normally mark it when it's a confessional. I think she just said that to him, that she's not curious about anybody
But
else.
curious is like can also
Wants
be
to
like,
go out on a date with to see
curious
what's
is like
up. Yeah,
I don't know enough about this person. Whereas like she
Yeah.
could know everything she needs to know about Minkyu, and that's why she's not
guess that's
curious
true.
about him anymore. But she might still be interested in him. I don't know.
I guess.
Again, you can play with the words to not lie if you want to. I don't know if that's what
Yeah.
Gary's doing or not, though. Gary claims that all the other men have directly or indirectly expressed interest in her. Is that overconfidence, or do we think that's true? Like, yeah, that guy hasn't talked to me, but he looked at me a certain way one
mean,
time. He
I
definitely
think she
indirectly expressed interest.
I think she believes it's true. Yeah, it's probably overconfidence. I mean, I feel like I can be confident at least that Jinsuk probably hasn't. Well, no, he's just flirty. He might have just said a funny thing, and that was interpreted as interest. I don't know.
Who did Jinsok pick on the second selection when Min Young wasn't there? Do you remember that?
He did pick Curie. Okay.
Oh, he
I
did.
take it
So,
back.
all right, then
There you go. I take it back.
He expressed interest. He picked her.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe this is true. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if Habin. We haven't seen anything from Habin, but why not? Why wouldn't you express interest in Gary indirectly or indirectly?
He gave candy to her, and yeah, he gave candy to her.
Gary's just really good on picking up on signals. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fair. Sure.
Yeah, she said she's only interested in my assumption was that she's only interested in getting to know Minwoo at this point. So that's like kind of what I was saying. It's like curious means getting to know versus not necessarily I'm interested in them and I know that. Yeah, I don't know. Oh no, actually no, listen to this. She said she's only interested in getting to know Minwoo at this point. And then the next sentence was, other than the people that I've thought of so far.
Okay.
Did you have a translation like that? That like really suggests that like it's not just Minwoo, right? It's like other than the people I've thought of and went to paradise with and liked them.
Yeah, I don't think I have a translation that's anywhere close to that.
Okay.
I think mostly what I've picked up from this is that she is not entirely 100% in on Minkyu and is open to Minwoo and is gonna have to decide between the two of those. It's just the vague general vibe that all my translations gave me.
And I guess we're just not getting the missing pieces. We're never seeing a Mingyu Guri conversation ever. So I have no idea what their vibe is other than how they were on that paradise date, which it seemed like they were vibing, but it was also like in a way that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Should I be reading this as, oh, the Mingyu thing is not a thing and the show just is making it seem that way? I'm not sure.
I mean, it seems like it's a thing to him because he's basically said,
oh yeah, he thinks it's a
that
thing,
he's picking her. Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't know why he thinks that. Because from what we've seen, they've only ever just had the one paradise date and then nothing.
I mean, it might be he's looked around and been not interested in anyone else either, and
That's possible,
therefore it's just gone all in on.
But we're not even getting that. We're not even getting that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Gary even asked if he was bummed that she picked him because he wanted to go with someone else.
Oh, and he gave a great answer that very clearly says that he is, where he's like, no, it's a great experience and a good memory, which is not convincing anyone.
Yeah, that was at least transparent that there's somebody else. At least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I still think he's not upset that he's going to paradise with Guri. I still think that. And it definitely seems like that later. He's really good after this date with Guri, he's really good. His confidence is going to be a little higher, I think.
Oh yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
seems like. Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
And then here you go. This might be your new favorite person on the show. Ready?
Oh.
Guri talks about how she's not willing to settle for someone just because they like her. And then she basically
Mm.
is like claiming that she would walk away at the end of the show, even if all 6 guys liked her, picked her, if she didn't like any of them. There you go.
I would love to see it. I don't think I'm gonna see it.
What an amazing ending to all this. And what if the entire show was 6 guys picking one girl, and then the one girl walks away?
I would love that. It would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Is there any chance that let's say the girls pick last? Is there any chance like Minwoo picks Seon, and then Mingyu picks Gary, and then Gary walks off the show? Honestly, at this point, I just want anybody to walk off the show, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like even if it's Guanhee, I'll just be like, yes, it happened. We did it.
I think that's the one exception. I
don't
would
like
not
that.
enjoy that because that's just him doing a stunt, not like actually just.
No,
he
has a he really likes somebody outside the show. He couldn't pick it. He didn't meet anybody he
And
liked more
he's
than
cheated
that
at
person.
being on the show too, so then I actually don't like it.
All right. I mean, they didn't have anything official. You know, it's fine.
No, no.
This is all just fake news that I'm injecting into this podcast. All right. Yeah, I wrote I'm becoming a Guri fan. Like, I couldn't help but like just judge her for her looks kind of from the beginning because she's very like doll, like plastic, like from Mean Girls kind of look to her.
Yeah. And I feel like the edit did not help her in that regard either.
Yeah.
It like gave her that kind of music and stuff. So.
Yeah. But like you can tell she's smart and like she's the kind of person like on these shows where like this happens on like Survivor sometime where like I wouldn't be surprised if like she had like the highest IQ of anybody on the season. Like honestly, that's like she seems I don't know. Like just being willing to say that like you would walk away if you didn't like somebody. I feel like I don't know. I guess maybe I'm putting too much on that, but yeah, and then she also won the women's wrestling game, so she's at least competitive. I don't know. I'm starting to really like Gary.
All right.
She looked like she would be like a fake person on the show, but I think we're getting to meet the real Gary. Like,
yeah,
the things she's saying like aren't
now.
things you would say if you were trying to be fake on the show. Like, I don't think you're saying I would walk away if I didn't like somebody. Yeah, I'm liking her.
I agree. I like her.
Yeah, we're gonna get like a cut between the Seon and Mingyu stuff, but basically like they're gonna go swimming and then they're gonna go to bed. I mean, for Guri and Minwoo.
Interspersed with Seon and Mingyu just like being like, oh, I wonder what they're doing now. I'm so sad that I'm not on a date with the person I want to be on. Seon even like goes so far as to say she feels like she has this one-sided crush on Minwoo, and it's like he did not do anything to indicate that he does not feel things for her. She is being so overdramatic right now. He's just got picked by somebody else and had no choice in the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess I didn't totally disagree with her because like that is kind of what I was saying earlier. Like it does feel like she is more committed to him than he is to her. But you're right. Like he actually hasn't made a choice.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't made a public decision yet that would indicate to us that he's like more into
that he's
Gary.
out on her now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like also like for it to be one-sided would mean like there's nothing authentic coming from his side at all. And I absolutely do believe that he is into her. It's just his first choice was Guri. Then he thought that wasn't going to happen, so he moved on to her. But now first choice is opening up again, so he's a little intrigued. I don't think that negates how he has expressed himself to Seon and how he felt about her. So she's being overdramatic.
She's saying it in a dramatic way, but I think she's right that like at least she's more in than he is, I guess. But to suggest that he's not into her at all is definitely wrong, or definitely seems wrong at least. Yeah. Yeah, Minwoo and Yuri, they sleep in the same room in different beds like normal people would. Nice.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen it happen.
Did they chat about anything noteworthy? They did show them like chatting in bed.
Yeah, there was nothing that they were chatting about that was noteworthy, but the fact that they were doing this like late night talk to each other from bed chat is the noteworthy thing. Like it's cute and has historically happened with people who end up picking each other.
Yeah, the show likes to show it when it happens, which makes me think that like something weird happened on the triple threat date. Like did the guys and the women like not sleep in the same room?
Yeah, I think they definitely didn't.
Like if you're sleeping in the same room, like there's got to be some conversation going on. So I feel like they would give you at least like
Um,
30
I don't
seconds
know.
of it if it happened.
It was all three of them. I feel like it might just be
Maybe it was too awkward. Nobody said
might be
anything.
awkward. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Yeah, so Cian and Mingyu, like you said, they're just kind of speculating.
outing.
Mingyu's like they're probably in the hot tub right now, and then they show them they're not in the hot tub, but they're in the pool together.
Yeah,
Yeah, they must have just talked before we even went to them, and they just realized they're both like settled on somebody else, and we
yeah.
literally get nothing from them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No reactions to their age and occupations. We don't even get that moment that
They do
like,
not give a shit.
Yeah.
They're like, this is not a real date. Let's just be sad together.
Cian actually says something like she's even more into Minwoo after talking to Mingyu. Should Mingyu be offended by that comment?
100% he should be.
Unless he just did a really good job of like, maybe did a good job of hyping up Minwoo. Like he feels like he's gotten to know Minwoo from like a guy's perspective, and he also thinks he's really cool. Or it was just like, I talked to you, Mingyu, and yeah, Minwoo's definitely better.
Yeah, I feel it's more the second one than the first one.
Okay. I feel like you shouldn't say that if that's the case.
Oh, you absolutely shouldn't.
Somehow she said that out loud. Okay.
Yeah.
Cian is confident that Minwoo would find her more attractive than Cian, though. So, at least, I mean, maybe she's just saying it and doesn't fully believe it, but at least it's better to be confident than to be stressed. So I like that.
Yeah, but I think she's just stressed and is acting confident. So I don't know that it's working out.
I feel like the person who's more stressed in this conversation is Mingyu.
She's the one making like over the top remarks about, oh, he never had feelings for, like this whole thing is one sided. Like she feels pretty deep.
I actually don't have in my notes that she said that. I guess that's like kind of inconsistent with like, it's inconsistent with her saying, I think he's going to think I'm more attractive. But you just think that was like, she just said that, but it's not true. She doesn't actually think that.
Yeah. I think she is trying to be confident and is not in this moment.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to say, I think Minwoo finds me more attractive, but also he has no feelings for me. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think I'm too emotionally invested in the Cian and Minwoo thing to work. But like I actually don't know what's gonna happen here. I honestly don't know. Like I think this Minwoo stuff is actually pretty interesting because I find it hard to read.
Yeah, I
just because there's
don't know
so many pieces to the puzzle
pick
missing.
at this point.
I honestly don't know. We can speculate at the end of the guy's game because Cian's probably not going to Paradise the next time around, and Yuri is. So Cian will be with Minwoo.
Mm-hmm.
At least the way we're gonna see it. So that maybe that's an indication that Cian is more likely to win out in the end here. But all right, okay.
Yeah, hard to say.
All right, day 6. Let's go to Inferno.
Yeah.
Again, they're really hard selling the Jinsuk Minji stuff. I'm not buying it.
Yep.
The Paradise people return.
Well, we get Gyuri telling Hajong and Minyoung about her time in Paradise. She talks about the boat. She does say she picked Mingyu the first time because she thought she'd have more fun with him, but now that Minwoo is like more comfortable with her, this was more fun than the time she spent with Mingyu.
Oh. Who did she say that to the girls?
Yeah, Hajong and Minyoung.
Oh, Hajong and Minyoung. Okay. Minwoo tells the guys he's leaning towards Cian. Okay, so we do get something from him. And he says that to the guys. I don't know why he'd be lying.
Yeah. But he does seem to like, I don't know, he seems at least a bit confused. Like he feels like he saw a different side of Gyuri this time. And yeah, I don't know. He says it's confusing now. So even though he has been into Chiun lately.
Like I feel like it's confusing in the sense that like he has options. It's almost the same thing like with Jinsuk, where it's like it's confusing in that there are options, but I feel like there's a clear, like the other person would have to muck it up. Like Cian would have to muck it up, I feel like, to not win. Maybe.
Okay.
Same thing with Minyoung, like she would have to muck it up. At least that's what she said. At least she thinks she could only lose if she mucks it up. Yeah, I actually wrote the girls asked Gyuri about Minwoo, but I thought it was like harder to tell where she's leaning. Like she compliments Minwoo in a way like, oh, did she actually say like, oh, I thought it was straight better with Minwoo than Mingyu? Did she say
yeah,
that?
I thought
or was it like
she said it was more fun. It might have been more fun than she thought it was gonna be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Or
thought she
like
just
it
meant
was
it
like
was more fun.
better to talk to, but I don't know if that's like the most important thing for her. I don't know. I didn't it didn't seem as much of a statement as like, oh, Min was like, I'm leaning towards Sion. That seemed more
Mm.
definitive on who's ahead. Haben, oh yeah, this is where it gets interesting here. I mean,
Okay.
This is the Guan story, but this is where we are at. Okay. Haben and Mingyu are gonna tell Guan that they think Hyesun is fully pointed in Wanik's direction, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, this was confusing because I was like, where did this come from?
Yeah. And I question, like, is this just a terrible read? Or
But if it is, it's a terrible read that multiple people are having, which makes me feel like the show is just lying to us, just hiding the like good interactions they're having and not
yeah.
showing us anything they say about each other, and that would indicate that, she's into him.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's totally possible, like I think Haben says this first. So it's possible like Haben has a terrible read. And then Mingyu's also in this room, but like Mingyu might be incentivized. No, wait, why would Mingyu care if Hye-sung?
Yeah, if anything, he would want Guan Hee to get like hooked up with Haesun immediately
Yeah,
so he
yeah.
never comes back to paying attention to Yuri again.
So Mingyu must agree with this too then. Yeah, there's no reason for him to say this unless he actually believed it.
Mm-hmm.
And their logic is like they feel like they both notice, like when they all eat at dinner, that like Hye-sung is like looking at Wanik, like staring at him, like more than
Yeah.
anybody else.
Mingyu also picked up on a vibe in the helicopter on the way back from Paradise.
Oh,
So
I
I
mean,
don't
they were
know.
literally on the date together though.
I mean, I guess from
I
his
don't
vibe
know.
check, it went well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, new endgame story that we might like.
Okay.
Wanik and Guanhee pick Hye-sung, but then Hye-sung picks Wanik.
Wouldn't mind that.
Wouldn't mind
Wouldn't
that.
mind that at all.
That works.
Mm-hmm.
That's possible?
Anything that leaves Guan Hee alone on that beach, I'm all for.
That's possible with how the show could definitely be like hiding the Hye-sung Wanik stuff from us, and then she picks him in the end. But like Guanhee was like way more interesting of a character, so they made it all about him and his like
Mm-hmm.
his like failure instead of making it about Hye-sung and Wanik's success.
Yeah.
All right, that's possible. I'm down for that. I don't know how Hajong fits into all that, other than they just thought it was good TV, which I guess I mean it's I don't know. I'm in on at this point.
They were both.
I'm so invested in the show that like anything's good at this point. Honestly. Yeah, will Guanhee want Hye-sung even more because of this, or will this be a deterrent?
I think for him, this would be a deterrent.
I agree. Yeah.
He likes it when people come to him and pay him attention. This makes him feel like he lost, and he would not like that.
Because I think the worst case scenario for Guanhee is if he doesn't couple at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like no girl picks him at the end. And assuming the normal format where he has to pick the girl that's going to pick him back. Like if he has doubts that Hye-sung is going to pick somebody else, then I feel like he's more likely to pick the girl that's guaranteed to pick him.
Yeah.
But in the scenario where he gets to make the final decision, then all bets are off. Like he can do whatever he wants at that point. As long as he gets some of the girls to pick him, and then he can make the final decision. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. And I will not believe any of it. It'll just be like, oh yeah, he just picked from what was in front of him. It's not because he gave a shit. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he could. I mean, you could say that about anybody.
Well, yeah, but I will particularly say it about him.
Yeah. All right. And then we get an announcement.
Today, the men will play a game to win a date in paradise. Please go to the island on the other side. They like literally go back to Inferno 1 just for this game.
Yeah, they don't say like go back to the first island. It was a little weird, the phrasing of it. I thought they were just going to like a different beach on the same island. But yeah, they go back to Inferno 1.
Yeah, same. Like I literally thought they were like, oh, there's a sandier part on this island where we can actually make a fight pit. So go there.
Yeah, that's what I thought was happening. So yeah, they're going back to Inferno 1, and then again it's the top 3 get to choose a woman to go to paradise with.
They make them climb all the way to the top of this hill. Then they explain that it is a race to the top of this hill, and all the guys have to go down to the bottom of the hill again to run up the hill.
Yeah.
It is quite silly.
Yeah, that's where the camera setup is, where the plane crashes at the top of the hill.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's literally just like it's a race. It's like it's a weird distance where if you can run the whole thing, it's kind of like a sprint, but it's also very far. So
Yeah.
if you don't have endurance, you're not making it all the way. So
Right. And yeah, there are 3 flags, and it's just the first 3 guys that get up here get to
yeah,
go pick somebody for
they
paradise.
did a flag game for the women in like season 1, I think, where they had to like run from the
Yeah.
water to the beach. But then that race was so short that like the women were essentially like could be like diving for the flags at the end.
Yeah.
I was like, I hope diving doesn't happen here because these are like it's the rockiest finish line
Yup.
ever. So I guess like they must have just been like, well, what are the chances the 3rd and 4th place guy need to
Yeah.
dive on these rocks? And if that happens, it's probably they were like, yeah, it's good TV anyway.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, they can't like could they have tackled each other like in the?
I think
I
production
don't think
hopes
I
they
don't
were
think
going to
anybody
tackle
would do
each
that.
other.
It's just a clean race here.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I immediately about okay. Well, Guan he's coming in first. Like he's an actual pro athlete. Like
Yeah. And I was like, Jinsook's not built for running. This poor boy's not getting there.
See, narratively, I still thought like maybe Jinsook and Minwoo somehow get 2nd and 3rd in this because narratively, if this is like replacing the fight pit, it felt like narratively those are the guys that are gonna have to make a decision. But yeah, Jinsook is like not the right build for this sprint basically, and he basically can't run the whole thing. But yeah, feels like such a production manipulation for
this to be
Guan.
the thing. Like yeah, because just like he takes the lead in the beginning, is entirely out in front the whole time. It's not even close.
It's not even close. Like there was a chance that Hobbin was like a secret athlete and he would have competed with him, but yeah, it's not even close. Like even if like he's a basketball player, like he has to be conditioned to play basketball.
Yeah.
He plays a position that tends not to be like he's not dominating at basketball because of his size. Like he has to train and condition.
Yeah.
So yeah, no chance. I did think Mingyu looked very serious at the starting line on this. He was he was in rescue mode. So Guan He wins easily. Jinsook actually can't even finish the race. He says he has like knee problems too. It's not just
he does have like a knee wrap on later in the episode.
Oh, he does.
So
okay.
It must have not been great for him.
Yeah. Guan He gets first. Mingyu gets 2nd, which makes sense. Like you would think he would also have good conditioning for his job.
Yeah.
And then Wanik, the dark horse Wanik, comes in 3rd.
Hobbin was in 2nd for a while, but
he faded.
Didn't last all the way up.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be an athlete if we ever find out his.
I mean, he could golf.
Have we had a season where nobody went? The one girl last season, right? Never went.
Yeah.
And then did they give us a little thing for her?
We found out what she was at the end. Like they had that final like sitting around the fire drinking beer.
Oh, they're sitting around the fire. Okay, that's when we'll see how.
Yeah,
wins,
that's when we found out. Yeah,
unless he somehow wins the fight pit, but I doubt it. Okay. Yeah. So it's all about who's Guan He gonna pick. He finally has to choose. He can't say I like them all the same. He can't do
it. We do get a little when Jinsook finally makes it all the way up. He does a little wink at Minyoung. So.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That's coming back.
And then I was wondering like who's he winking at, but then Minyoung actually whispers to Kaesung like he winked at me or something. So at least she also thinks she winked at he winked at her. Okay. All right, we got some conversations here before the end here. We're not gonna get these anybody picks, but here's the build. Here's the build up. Guan He and Haesun are gonna talk again.
He's gonna ask her about her time in paradise, and I don't know. There's some weird stuff where he's just like, "Yeah, I wanted to talk to you, but you wouldn't make eye contact with me, so I thought that meant you didn't want to talk." I'm like, "Okay, dude, sure."
Yeah. So this is where like it feels like Mingyu and Habin's comments about Haesung being into Wanik are having an effect on Guan He, where like prior to this, if I had only watched these 2 episodes, like I would think Guan He was most interested in Haesung because he was like at least trying a little bit with her. But then this conversation starts out with like him setting up. He does like the Ha Jong move of like, oh, I thought you didn't want to talk to me, so that like you're
shifting the blame. So he cannot pick her and it's fine, not his fault.
Yeah, he's like setting it up like he's not gonna pick her, which is not how I felt before this conversation and before the comments from Haben and Mingyu. And then he actually confronts her about what the other people are saying, that she likes Wanik.
Yeah, and she seems a little like incredulous about this.
Oh, that's what you thought?
And she's like, well, I mean, I don't know. I wrote down, "What the fuck, are you serious?" is what she was like, but you didn't get that vibe?
I actually thought like she seemed surprised that he said it, but like not that surprised.
Okay.
Like that's kind of how I felt. Like she could have been more dumbfounded by what he said, is at least how I felt. Like it wasn't like, I thought it was going to be like why the hell would they say that? Like that's literally not even close to how I feel. But that's like not, she didn't like overreact like that.
Well, she did literally just come back from a date with him when she picked him. So like it's not so far out of left field that people would think that she was into him.
Yeah, I guess so. It's like, what can she say that's believable? Yeah, it again, like everything's working out where like this seemed, if Hye-sung actually does like Gwan Hee the most, it's all kind of just like worked out, partially to her own fault that she picked Wanik, but that all these things make it seem like she actually does, from Gwan Hee's point of perspective, like she actually might like Wanik more than him. Even though from the audience perspective, we've been told many, many times by Hye-sung that she likes Gwan Hee the most. So that's what we're inclined to believe is true.
I mean, I feel like sometimes we have gotten confessionals or her talking to the women and she'll say things like she's not sure about him, like Gwan Hee, like, because he's not being clear about things, or like she doesn't know if she can believe the stuff he says.
Yeah, she definitely right. Like when all the women were like talking about Gwan Hee the one time, like she definitely was contributing to that conversation. Right?
Yeah.
What she does say is, she says Wanik is nowhere close to where Gwan Hee is for her. So she's not totally, I don't know, I got the sense that she wasn't totally like
she
saying this
didn't
was
have
like
zero feelings about
Wanik. She wasn't saying
just
like, oh, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like she didn't react in that way, which is, I feel like from what we've seen, it's like one of the craziest. it would be like a big reaction like that is what she would respond with, and we didn't get that. So I thought that was a little weird, and that just could be her personality. But I would have expected a bigger reaction in that moment. Gwan Hee does say he gravitates towards her and worries about her.
Yeah, he's like pointing out like, oh, you know, earlier you fell during the women's game, like I took some grass out of your hair. Like, I don't know. I felt like he was being a little like I just felt like he was a little sulky that she didn't actually pick him for Paradise, even though they had talked about this ahead of time.
Oh, he says that much. He says that later, doesn't he?
I guess he does. Yeah, but
he admits
it's just
that to
like,
her, yeah.
I don't know. And he's like throwing this like, can't you see? Like, I like you so much. I took grass out of your hair. It's like, okay, calm down.
Oh, I love how much you hate Gwan Hee.
He makes it so easy.
Yeah, he does.
It'll just last through however many reasonable moments he has. Yeah. I'm still holding on to not liking him.
Yeah. I mean, I could like objectively separate like conversation to conversation with him. Whereas like in these two episodes, like I can like kind of see where he's coming from in these conversations. But like I still know he sucks, but I'm at least trying to be objective.
I can still see little hints of red flags buried, amongst him trying to be reasonable.
You can't unsee it.
He's a man made entirely of red flags. It's hard not for Trace to be left behind.
Okay. But then she says she'll be okay if Gwan Hee picks someone else. And I feel like this is not what Gwan Hee wants her to say.
Oh, 100% this is not what he wants to hear right now.
Even if Hye-sung does like Gwan Hee the most, she is totally whiffing on the read here of like what Gwan Hee wants.
What he wants to hear.
That's what I think. So
he wants to hear, oh, I could never handle being without you. You are the best. Oh, yeah. Bullshit like that is what he wants to hear.
I think Gwan Hee, like I kind of said earlier, he's more likely to choose the girl that he feels is most committed to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which again, I don't totally think is crazy as a strategy on the show. It's just...
I just think like when you've repeatedly had conversations with a woman where she's like, okay, we're gonna go and spend time with other people, just to, you know, round out this experience and then come back at the end together. He shouldn't be surprised or all that pouty when that is what happens, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I mean, like, it would be nice to know, like, the real Guan He and who he actually is attracted to, and is not just like. I mean, he could be. He generally could be attracted to all of them, but it's just hard not to see it as like he built up this lineup of possible women. Like he just saw and he let the girls kind of like he waited to see which girls liked him, and then he didn't. He's not gonna like choose until the end, and he's just trying to decide, make them like impress him or like he
Yeah,
wants
compete
them
for
to.
him.
He
Yeah.
wants them to like make the strongest move, and then he'll just choose. And if you want, I
Mhm.
mean, if you want to have a successful coupling at the end of the show, honestly, it's like not a bad strategy as long as you can get girls to like you. Now, how he's getting girls to like him, that's the piece I totally am not understanding, especially with the effort he's putting in these two episodes. But
It's easy. Step 1, be
I
tall.
know that's.
Step 2,
I mean, we
don't
figured it
not
out, but
be
I'm still confused.
tall.
Yeah, like the vibe I felt like is like it feels like he wants to pick Sung. Like I honestly think he likes Sung the most out of the three.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to pick Sung because he's worried
Yeah.
he won't. It's not a it's not going to work out.
It's
For
not a
him.
guaranteed
There's
pick.
a
Yeah.
yeah. It's it. There's more of a chance that it doesn't work out in the end if he picks Sung. So that's how I feel about going into episode 8. Kwani says Giri is not for him, aka Giri wasn't interested in him.
Yes.
What other conversations?
We get a Jinsuk Minji conversation.
Okay.
I came out of it where he's basically saying he's not attracted to other girls outside of Minyoung and Minji.
Okay.
And he tells her he's attracted to her. And that, like, I think the crux of it was he's just like, yeah, I don't just like go around saying that to anybody. It means something. Like this is authentic.
Yeah. I have like Minji really thinks that Jinsuk and Minyoung is like set in stone thing.
Yeah.
But this is where I kind of was like, oh, but she, even though she said that, she's like still really flirting with him hard.
Yeah, yeah.
And I appreciated the effort, even though she was like a little over the top and it comes across as fake, I still liked it. Because, you know, honestly, like if it weren't for Minji, I feel like Jinsuk and Minyoung wouldn't even be on the TV show. Because there had to be like a third wheel in this for it to even make it be a story. Yep. And that's only a story if Minji keeps trying. So there we go. I appreciate Minji.
Then we get Wanik and Shiun. This feels very much like he is still into her and she's trying to be like, no thank you, sir.
Yeah, because
pick someone else, please.
Yeah, because if Wanik picks her, then she's not going to be with Minwoo on Inferno.
Right.
Right. So that's the biggest motivation.
And she's even just like, you know, if it were, or I think he asked if it was flipped around, or she had, if it was flipped around and she could pick whoever, she's like, yeah, I'd pick somebody I haven't gone with yet, like somebody new.
She doesn't say Minwoo.
Thing to go for.
Yeah, she doesn't say Minwoo, but she admits that if she had gotten first place in the wrestling, she would not have picked Wanik. She admits that, which is important, and at least for our speculation at the end here, because Wanik is picking this time. So you think a comment like that could have an impact.
It also feels a little bit like advice of like, you know, you should pick someone new, you know? Go away from picking me again.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what Wanik should do in this spot. I guess it depends on, like, we saw so little of his date with Hyesung that we really don't know if they vibed at all. But I don't really know, like, what is Wanik supposed to do if he's not picking Seon? I guess he could pick Hyesung.
Yeah, unclear.
I don't know. We can speculate at the end. And then Minwoo wants to chat with Gyuri. Okay. And she has to like put her shoes on when she leaves the container, and they like naturally. It looks like they just naturally like hold hands while she's like balancing to put her shoes on. So they got a meal out of that. I don't. What did you think that? Did you think that was something?
Yeah, I mean,
it did seem natural.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Okay. Who are you rooting for between Gyuri and Seon as with Minwoo? What team are you on here?
I think I find myself more and more on Team Yuri, even though I definitely started enjoying Minwoo and Chiun. I just feel like so much of their interactions have just been making eyes at each other and not really like talking about anything substantial. Whereas like now Kiri and Minwoo have had a successful date and like have maybe gotten to actually know each other a little bit more.
Oh, interesting.
And
Okay.
it's not just based on there is a cute person over. I mean, it's largely all of it is based on these people are attractive, but I don't know. It just feels a little bit more authentic in that way.
Okay. I feel like I'm enjoying the vibe, like the two shy people vibe more.
Mm,
But I also really like Gary. Like I don't have anything against her. I'm actually like she's probably like one of my more favorite characters at this point. um,
yeah.
but I feel like I'm enjoying the Sia and Minwoo scenes more. And yeah, I was pretty upset when Gary picked Minwoo, so I'm still Team Sia, but
Okay.
nothing. It's
Okay.
nothing against Gary.
Well, in this, Minwoo tells Guri that like he had a great time in paradise, and she's just been on his mind ever since. So it feels like maybe that has shaken him away from Sia a
Yeah,
little bit
I mean,
more.
they really didn't set up like there was like crazy sparks with Minwoo and Guri, but other than like when they showed a glimpse of them like talking at night, and it looked like one of those setups where they would have been talking for a long time,
Yeah.
but we don't they don't give us that either, so it's hard to tell like if more happened and they're not showing up. I don't know. It's I
Yeah.
don't, the whole storyline that centers around Gary is just weird with there's like a lack of information.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, Minwoo has big smiles. He's so confident now.
Mm-hmm.
Or he just started to like he finally decided to start playing the game. I can't tell. Like
A little late to it, but okay. Yeah.
he's like, oh, two, not only one girl but two girls like me now. I'm gonna go actually have a personality and talk to them. Like I don't know what happened. I think it's just a confidence thing, but
Yeah. Yeah. Like
um,
confidence makes sense.
yeah, Gary does say that she would prefer to stay in Inferno.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she says to Minwoo.
She also says that if she ends up going, he should stay put and lie low and not do anything funny.
Yeah, which I thought she said that more in like a playful way though, and less of like a
Oh yeah, yeah,
I'm.
yeah.
She said
But
it
it
like
is cute.
yeah, like if Min Young said that, I feel like it would be like a little more serious. When she said that, but for some reason when Gary said it, I thought it was more of like a playful like she wasn't actually
Yeah.
gonna be like crazy jealous or anything. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just talk. I don't know. I can't tell. I honestly can't tell. Like they talk like all night long, had a great time, and now this is a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is a thing. I
You
like
think
it.
it's a thing? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no reason. Like I have no reason to believe at this point that like Yuri would lie to him, right? Like
Yeah.
she's saying like I'd rather stay here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I really appreciate that Gary, maybe Gary's like, oh, I've been to Paradise twice now. It was awkward both times. Like, I have a way better time. Like, I have a way better time when I stay here on Inferno. Like, she's really figuring out the show. Like we've been saying, like it's all
Mm.
about the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Inferno experience. Who cares about the Paradise? So that was maybe like I want to stay on Inferno, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's like super into Minwoo. It's just like maybe she's not that into Mingyu, and she knows if she goes like it's with Mingyu again, and she
Mm.
prefer not to do that. I don't know
I guess, but I choose to believe the other bit.
because again, like Minwoo initiated this conversation, right? It wasn't Guri. Like he came to the
uh
room and was like, "Hey, you want to talk?"
yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't know. I'm Team Cian, so I'm trying to grab what I can here.
Okay, okay,
All right.
okay.
Hajan talks to Mingyu. This was weird, right? Oh, this I was
This
like,
is
what is this gonna
funny.
be? I was like, what is this gonna be? But this actually ends up pretty funny. Like they had to put this in the show.
Yeah,
Uh,
she's literally just like, you can come in and watch me curl my hair.
yeah, because Hajan is just like another like she's just an emotional support friend. Like she's not flirting
Yeah.
with him or anything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
She's just like encouraging him to keep going with Yuri. Like pretty much the same. That's her
Yeah,
like
yeah.
one go-to piece of advice. Just like don't give up on your thing. She doesn't want people to have any regrets. That's basically what her
Mm-hmm.
main advice is.
She does tell him that she's into Guan He, and he seems shocked.
Yeah, because he thought it was Ha Bin. I mean, everything she said publicly, I think
Yeah.
makes sense that you would think that. Like, she's basically been trashing Guan-hee publicly and only saying she likes him to his face, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's basically
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
going on.
That's fair.
But no, she says she's into Guan-hee here. She's planting her flag. She's letting all the guys know.
Yep.
And then, this is where it gets funny. Hajan asked Mingyu to get rid of a fly that got into the storage container. But Mingyu's like,
He's just like, how do you expect me to do this? I
it's
can't
a
catch a
fly.
fly.
They're impossible to catch. Like, why should I even bother? That's not worth the energy to try to get rid of the fly. And then Guri walks into the room.
And complains about the fly, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll catch up for you."
Yeah. I don't even know if she complained. She was just like, "Oh, there's a fly in here." And he's like, "Oh, I'll get rid of that for you. Don't worry." And then Hajong just straight up calls him out for it immediately. And then Minkyu's like, why you gotta throw me under the bus like that? Come on, Hajong. Oh, that was great. You could have just played it cool and acted like I was being cool, and you didn't.
Or was she so deep in her wing woman game that she was just highlighting how
That's what it is.
much
Yeah.
she cares more about Guri than
Yeah,
So,
I think she's doing
there you
him
go.
a favor by showing how different he is with her,
Mhm.
but like potentially like all the girls, like he definitely likes you, Guri, because he doesn't treat me like he treats you. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think she's doing him a favor here. But then they go to chat outside, but
I
we
don't think we
don't
see it. We
we
don't
don't
see
get
it,
that
'cause
conversation.
we
Like, what's happening? What? We never get Mingyu Guri, no matter what happens.
Yeah. Mhm.
They literally were like, "All right, let's go talk," and then we go see somebody else have a conversation. Will we
Yep.
get Mingyu
It's
Guri in next episode?
No. I think we're not
No.
getting it until the end. Um
And what's
and it's
the
because
story?
all
What's
their
the narrative?
conversations have been too straightforward. Either she's definitely picking him or she's definitely not picking him, and that's it.
I just can't tell narratively what this is. I guess it's
If
good
you
and bad
want
'cause I
more
don't know.
airtime on this show, you must speak in riddles.
But what I don't get is which way that means. You know, like, is she being
Well, I
obvious?
guess it
Is she
also
being obvious
depends
about liking
on
him or obvious about not liking him? I guess
Yeah,
either
I don't know
way,
which one it is, but it's one of those.
it's one of those. Okay, and if they just don't show it, it's more mysterious.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that works.
But there also has to be some sort of like third person involved. Because if it
Which
is
there
just
is,
her
yeah.
repeatedly going, "No, I'm not into you," it doesn't matter. And if it was her just going, "Yes, I'm into you," and no one else was involved, they'd just be like, "All right, they got together," and then we'd never see them again because it's just not interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know what it is.
But
Like,
they
is there going to
just
be
want to
another?
set up another choice,
Like,
and the only way it's believable is if we don't see her talk to Mingyu ever.
Like, is Guri going to win like another women's game, or maybe it's just the final decision?
Yeah, at this point, I'm assuming it's final
I don't know.
decision
Between
reasons.
Guri, like, I can't tell whose decision's more important. Is it I like Minwoo's decision between Guri and Sion seems like more important of a decision, but then Guri choosing between Mingyu and Minwoo.
So
But
that
I'm
makes
like,
me feel like Yuri is like 100% in on Mingyu because otherwise,
oh really? I was going to say the other way.
Minwoo's because otherwise Minwoo's choice doesn't mean anything because it's between a woman who's interested in him and a woman who is not interested in him.
Yeah, so Guri has to be on a Minwoo in order to make there be two people interested in Minwoo.
Or that's the reason they are hiding it.
See, that's
It's because she's not actually interested in him. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so weird we're not seeing anything. I don't know.
Well, if she is just actually like very blatantly into Minwoo, then the Minwoo choice still exists. So that you could show it and it would be fine.
you could show what? That there.
You could show Yuri just telling everybody, "I am 100% in on Minwoo."
I see.
And if anything, that makes the Minwoo choice more compelling. So now I think I've talked myself into it. Yuri's definitely into Mingyu.
Oh, really? See, I think you could go back and forth. I mean, she is kind of saying things like, "I want to stay here on Inferno." Like, maybe that's her way of making it clear. But if she's talking in riddles like that more often, or like somewhat, I don't know. Like, you'd think you would be getting more from her.
Yeah, if she's always talking in riddles, there's no reason to hide it.
Maybe they just had to choose like they can't highlight everybody. Then they were like, I don't know, this is a good story, but Guan-hee and Hajong are on the show, so we're gonna spend more time on them. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I am. I am just like disappointed we're not getting more from Gary, considering I feel like I'm enjoying what we are getting.
Yeah.
So that's what feels weird. I also thought Mingyu was fine too. He was a character I thought we
Yeah.
could be good, and then we're getting nothing from him. All right, yeah. So instead of seeing their conversation, we're gonna get Minwoo ask Sion to talk now, and yeah, he's like smiling with her very confidently. Like same as with Giri. Uh, he thinks that Wan Eek is gonna pick her. I
Which
honestly can't
seems
tell.
reasonable.
I
Yeah.
honestly can't tell with Wan Eek. He's also barely been part of the show, despite doing a lot
Yeah.
on the show. My thing is like narratively, it would make more sense, or it would make more sense to me if Wan Eek is gonna pick Hye Song and Guan Hee isn't, and then that'll even like further cement this idea in Guan Hee's head that Hye Song and Wan Eek are like a thing. If like
Mm-hmm.
Wan Eek decides, oh, Sion isn't into me, I might as well just pick Hye Song, and it's like not even like that strong of a thing. But Guan Hee's gonna be like, oh, they both picked each other like back to back, like there's no way.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm leaning with it in
Okay.
terms of Wan Eek.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
But then this conversation between Sion and Minwoo gets interrupted by the announcement. So
Yeah.
they
They
actually
barely
didn't
seem
talk
to get
very
any
long.
time to talk. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It's time to pick. That's the announcement.
And we do get a little bit of June going to
Oh,
her
yeah.
room and crying because she's afraid that she's gonna get picked for Paradise. She doesn't want to go. She didn't really get to talk to Minwoo that much. She is upset.
Yeah. Is she picking up on a vibe that maybe he's also into Giri more than she thought he would be also? I don't know.
I think yeah, she still is probably in her feels about that. She didn't get to like talk to him after that date to really like figure out where they are. So yeah, she's probably
Yeah.
got a lot of stuff she's upset about right
Like
now.
I don't know what she saw of everything, but like he asked to talk to Giri first, right? He does ask
Yeah.
both of them to talk. He asked to talk to Giri first, and both Sion and Giri are in like a similar situation where there's a decent chance they might get picked for Paradise. So like
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense that he would want to talk to both of them because they might not be here
Right.
in Inferno afterwards. So I don't know. She could have honestly, it could just be like he talked to her first. I don't know. I don't know honestly.
Yeah.
And he talked to her first, and he just spent the night with her.
Yeah, yeah.
So that I could see that being triggering a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least talk to
Yeah,
me
definitely.
first, like you just talked to her. And then I really think Sion is being like this is the real Sion. Like this is what you want to see.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
even if you thought like she had alternative motives to come on the show, like or whatever, like she's being a real person. So like I don't really care.
Definitely.
I don't care if your motivation to come on the show wasn't necessarily like I'm ready to fall in love. If you at least participate in the show and get involved and be yourself.
You participate authentically.
Like
then
she says like I never thought I would be crying on this show, and that's what's happening right now. So she's in it.
Yeah,
she's invested.
Definitely.
Time to do the picks.
Except nope, next
No?
time.
All right. That's the end of episode 7. This is the classic Singles Inferno cliffhanger.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the previews, because the previews kind of might impact your predictions here, I think.
Okay.
So in the previews, we're going to see Hye-song, Minji, and Ha-jung all in Paradise.
Yes.
But there's no way that all 3 of them are getting picked in this round right here, right? Like Mingyu's 100% picking Giri.
Yeah, I would expect that.
So in the next 2 episodes, I guess, like there's probably like another round of Paradise dates. So at some point, Hye-song, Minji, and Ha-jung are all going to go to Paradise. But we don't know with who. I think they definitely mashed up the video, so you can't really tell who's with who.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or they like I feel like it's possible like maybe one of them are like not even going to go to Paradise, and we're getting like old footage from their Paradise date.
That's true. This bit is before the next time on Paradise section. It's like not technically
really?
part of the preview.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was a little weird because they're the only 3 girls we see in Paradise also. So like they're totally, again, like we're not seeing, assuming Guri's going to Paradise, we're not seeing it in the preview that she's going to Paradise.
Right.
Like, every chance to show her is like she's not there. Yeah, they make it look like Guan he's like talking to all of them, but he's not going to
Yeah.
paradise with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think Guan to me the Guan he talking to Haesung particularly did not look real.
Mm.
I also think that fits with the narrative that I'm seeing that he's not picking Haesung.
Yeah, I agree. That makes sense.
My best guess is that he's going with Hajong. I think he's picking Hajong. That's what I want to believe.
Okay.
That's what I want, and I think that's what's gonna happen.
I kind of think he's going with Minji.
I think he's going Minji. That would be full like this guy's the biggest fraud ever.
Well,
Like,
yeah, he is.
yeah, like he is, but I guess that fits with what he's been trying to do. I feel like at this point it's like almost a gamble though, where
Like, I think had he not heard the rumor that Haesun was into Wani, he would have picked Haesun. And now he's like, well, I'm not picking her, so he's gonna pick Minji instead.
oh,
You
see,
know,
I
like, I
actually
think
think
it's
this.
entirely a reactionary pick.
Yeah, I actually think I'm thinking the exact same way, but I just think he's gonna pick Hajong instead. But
Mm.
like Minji, because I guess if he really believes like Hajong is all in on him no matter what, I guess he can get like more out of the narrative if he picks a different girl, and that would be why he could pick Minji.
And
I mean,
Minji's been
also
flirting with him a lot.
that's
So,
true,
like,
but he was
I
very,
think it makes sense.
he was just like so not responsive to it. It was really weird. Like he was full like business mode when like giving the tour,
Mm.
and then I feel like
Yeah.
she was flirting, but he wasn't really like he wasn't doing his normal bit
Mm.
of like I don't know. He was treating Minji differently, and I guess you could see that as a sign that he's more serious about her. But I kind of saw it as he's less serious about her. And then the
Well,
fact
like
that
with Haesun, we like tend to think that he's actually into her more than like that's at least what the show's trying to say, and like he specifically does treat her differently than he treats the other women he's been quote unquote interested in.
with
So like
he said
if
about Haesung.
well yeah, like he doesn't tease her or whatever,
Oh, okay.
but he does that with Hajong. And so like here we find another woman who he's not like really teasing and getting up to in that way. And so like that again makes me think that maybe he does actually like Minji.
Okay. I guess part of it's also like if I believe he's panicking about Hyasung liking or Haesung liking Wanik more,
Monique.
I feel like he'd be even more willing to choose the girl that's like most likely to pick him back.
I feel like Hajang though has just like made it so easy to not have to worry about not picking her now, and that he knows she's still going to be around later that he can just pick at the end.
Okay.
You know,
All right. One of us is gonna be right. This image. Actually, no. We could both be wrong.
we could both be wrong.
We could both be wrong. But all right. We've mostly agree with each other. So this is something. This is intrigue for the next podcast. Who's gonna get this right?
Yeah.
Or both. Maybe we'll just both be wrong.
Both be wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. But there must be multiple paradise rounds in the next episode. That's I think most likely the case. Like we're probably going to two paradise rounds.
Yeah.
Like are we doing the fight?
And that
pit?
should be. I would think those would be the last two.
Somebody said they thought they saw the
More.
fight pit in the one of the trailers for the show, right?
Oh, did they?
Like, could they use like
I don't remember.
old fight pit footage? I don't know.
I don't know. We'd have to go back and watch and see how rocky the beach is.
Yeah, who's Wanik picking?
Aesong.
Haesung. I think that makes sense. If Guan He, well, yeah, Guan He. Oh, well, you're saying you think he picks Minji. Yeah, he picks Haesung, so that's why we see Haesung in Paradise. That would make sense. Because we don't see Sion in Paradise, right? We don't see
Correct.
Giri or Sion in Paradise. I guess if they showed us which one, it would spoil it. So maybe that's why we didn't see either.
Mm-hmm.
So like one of them is never going to go to Paradise again, right? Because they couldn't even use fake footage, or they could have used used footage from like the previous Paradise to trick us, I guess, if they wanted to put both of them in there. And then Mingi is 100% picking Gary. That's got to be the case. Okay. Yeah, and then Jinsok's story with Minyoung and Minji is going to continue, and Minwoo might be making up his mind between Sion and Giri in the next
maybe
episodes. I mean, we're running out of time, so he's got to make up his mind. All right, so you think it is Guanhee's going to pick Minji, then Mingyu's going to pick Giri, and Wanik's going to pick Daesung. So we're both the same,
Yes.
except I think it's going to be Hajong instead of Minji.
Yeah.
All right, we're seeing it differently. Let's go. I'm. What would be kind of great is what if Guanhee, because he also said something like remember he said like, or you said the translation for you was a little bit different, but he said something like, oh, who I pick tomorrow will be the person I pick in the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So
is
in
it possible
theory,
that this is
this
like,
is when he should be figuring out who he is interested in until the end. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
is is it possible that this is kind of like the climax of the Guan He storyline, or is there going to be more? I guess if he picks Minji, then
I'm sorry, are you taking something he said and then like believing it just the way he said it? Because
well,
this man is
he's
full of
making a
bullshit all the time.
choice. Yeah, I mean, I guess if he picks Minji, like you're saying, then the story's not over because Hajong's still gonna go for him, and then he actually doesn't really know Minji that much, so we'll have to see how he feels about her after Paradise. So maybe you could be right then. Maybe that makes more sense.
I feel it's safest to assume he is full of shit at any given time. So
Well,
I don't believe that
it's not
stuff he
full of
said.
shit just because he picks Minji over Hajong. But
No, I mean whoever I pick tomorrow, I shall pick until the end. Like, I don't believe that at all.
oh yeah. That I don't know. I don't even know why he would say that. Why be committed to that?
Because he was being dramatic.
Yeah, I guess he's being dramatic. Yeah. Oh yeah, you might have convinced me. Maybe there's gonna be Minji.
No, we
Like
have to have a different opinion for once.
Like he picks Minji, but he still picks Hajong in the end. Is that what you think? Like he picks Minji here, but still Hajong in the end, or you think he's?
I don't know. I gotta see how this date with Minji goes.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I'll wait until we see it too. No, decide. Now, if there isn't a choice for Guan He to pick Hajong in the end, then what have we been doing here? Unless it's just this choice right here. But it feels like such an end game storyline that it can't be now.
I don't know.
Okay,
this
right.
man is so weird.
I'll say Hajong, but I think I've convinced myself that it's Minji now that he's picking for this.
Okay.
Because it continues the story better if he does that.
Okay.
But all right, and then we would get. Oh no, wait, Gary's gonna be in Paradise. I was thinking we would get both Gary and yeah. I really hope Wani picks Haesung actually, because then we get the Cian. I think I'm most invested in Cian winning over Yuri. Even though I like both of Cian and Yuri, I don't know. I think that's the couple I like the most on the show.
Okay.
It would have been Jinsok and Minyoung, but they have this like kind of back and forth is a little silly to me, where they're like not into each other, like fully into each other at the same time. I'm sure I'll like them at the end if they choose each other, but right now it's Cian and Cian and Minwoo who I'm enjoying the most.
Yeah, I just feel like they lack any substance as a quote unquote couple right now.
Really?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, they're cute when they look at each other and they're being cute, but
I don't disagree with you.
Know.
I just don't see how you saw any substance between Gyuri and Minwoo.
Because they had an actual date and they stayed up all night talking. Whereas I feel like Minwoo and Chiyun just look at each other.
Yeah, but Cian
and that's it. They just look at each other.
Cian and Minwoo haven't gone to Paradise. They didn't get a chance to do that stuff. It's not like they had an amazing dinner conversation prior.
They could have talked all day on this island, and he didn't show up until right before the announcement went off. They had plenty of time to talk about things.
Yeah, so did Gyuri.
But they didn't.
Gyuri had more time than she did to talk to Minwoo, but they did it until they got to Paradise. Really?
No. I mean, they did like kind of talk to each other before that.
And
but
Gyuri didn't like him because she talked to him.
But now
they've gone to Paradise.
Feels like they have. Well, they've had more substance. I don't know what to tell you. I don't feel the same way about June and Minwoo right now.
Okay, all right. Cian's just like more of a main character on the show than Gyuri. I feel like there's so much we're not seeing from Gyuri, and it could just be because they need to hide it, but it feels like I'm supposed to want Cian to win. And I'm
that might be true, and she might in fact win.
I think she, yeah,
but it's not what I like right now.
Okay. All right. Anything else we need to talk about? Any other bold predictions you want to make before episode 8 comes out?
Hajong will continue to disappoint me. That's my other prediction.
You see, you've given up on any path.
I've given up on the dream.
Okay, let me give you this. Ready? This is why I wanted him to pick Hajong. Actually, this is what it was. He picks Hajong, but then the date goes poorly. But but Guan He still picks Hajong in the end, and now Hajong's like, "Screw you, I'm leaving this." It's still there. It's still there. Give me 1% chance that this is still happening. You give it to me? Yes. See?
Sure, you can have
Get
the leftover 1% from his 33%,
exactly.
33%,
There's a 1%
33%.
chance he picks somebody else, and that. Oh wait, that's. What do you want the guys to pick last, or do you want the women to pick last?
I mean, they've certainly set it up so that way the men are making the choices. But
Yeah,
like
but they've
it
never
feels like
done that
they ought
before,
to.
so I feel like
Yeah.
the show's never been in the situation that
But I think
it was
given
more
that it has been
interesting.
edited the way it has been
Yeah,
edited,
that's
I
true.
think they will switch it this time.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe honestly maybe that's why they had the women pick last. Like it wasn't like
It's
a
not like a rule they came up
yeah,
with.
it
It's
wasn't like
like
a
just how the
gender.
seasons worked out.
Yeah, it looked like it was like a gender role based like predetermined decision, but maybe it was a
Hmm.
narrative choice both for both those seasons. Okay. I mean, at this point, I want the women to pick last because there's like more potentially two walk offs with nobody.
Yeah.
That's what we want. That's what I want like more than anything. Somebody walk
Hey,
away.
I will accept a walk off if like it's still the women doing the first pick and they just walk past all the
That's
men and
not an
go
option. They won't be
bye.
allowed to do it if they have to pick
Why
first
not?
because
Why
that
not? It
breaks.
should
It's
it
less
should always
interesting
be
for the
an
show.
option. Well,
If okay, this is what
it's
if
more
one of the
interesting for me.
one of the women hints to production that they would walk off the show, they'd be like, "All right, we're changing it up. Women are going last." Like they would 100%. They're not. They're like,
Okay.
"This is gonna be great." They have to be itching for somebody to do that.
Are they?
Like in the first two seasons,
Hmm.
it didn't happen. Like, why would it be an option if they didn't want people to do it? You know?
Is it even an option?
Yeah, I thought they like at least in season one, I thought they like specifically mentioned because otherwise, what
Hmm.
are the women deciding in? Yeah, in season one, it was like there
Yeah.
were a few people that only one guy picked the woman, and now maybe they added that rule in there just to create fake drama.
Hmm. Yeah.
But at least like I remember like Yewan like
Oh
pretended
yeah,
like
she
she wasn't
faked
gonna pick
leaving.
she
Yeah.
like she
Yeah.
was gonna leave and then she turns around and takes him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, I can't wait honestly, and we're not gonna get it for 2 weeks because we're not the
Yeah.
finale. Finale is
Got
gonna be
more
one episode
episodes.
by itself,
Yep.
so we'll be able to do a deep retrospective on the entire edit of the season.
Yeah.
And we should have the time to do that, especially if it's only one episode in the finale.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Next time we will be talking about Singles Inferno 3, episodes 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we also dropped our second part of the what's it called?
Squid Game, the
The Squid
challenge.
Game the Challenge
Surprise.
show. Yeah, the unexpected extra podcast. We had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun talking about that show.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Definitely different than this show, but that's what.
Hmm.
Yeah, episode 8 and 9 of Singles Inferno 3 next. That'll be fun. Sarah, where can people contact us?
People can email us at keepwatchingpod@gmail.com, tweet at us at keepwatchingpod, Instagram at us at keepwatchingpod, leave a comment under the video on YouTube also at keepwatchingpod. And if you got predictions on who's gonna walk off of the show bravely away from all terrible other picks, you can leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Yeah. Yeah, put in your picks for who Guani's picking here. That's probably like honestly the most.
I hate that that's the thing, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like I'm not like I'm not even thinking about it really in terms of who he likes the most. That's why it's dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's still kind of interesting. Like we've gotten to know Guan He a little bit over the last 7 episodes, and let's
Hmm.
predict what this man would do in this spot. I would say like if he wanted to protect his narrative of like having 3 girls that he's interested in,
Hmm.
you would almost like not win the race, so you don't have to pick. But I also think like in order like to get on this to be more of a character on the show, you do need to win the games.
Yeah.
So he had to win the game, and then kind of he's definitely been avoiding this I'm picking somebody publicly thing, which is why I
Mm.
kind of do believe that whoever he picks here will be the person he picks in the end.
Interesting. Okay.
But you're right that like if he picks Minji, it doesn't really set anything in stone because Hadong's not going anywhere.
Yeah. 100%.
If anything, like it will just get a second. If the men do pick last, it might get a second person to pick him, which will be even better than if
Mm.
otherwise Minji might pick Jinsok and then he's only choosing between one woman, which still makes the show, but usually isn't as
Yeah, not as
big of a
exciting.
storyline. Yeah. All right. Anything else, Sarah?
No, I think we got it.
Alrighty, we did it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.